Today's video is going to be a quick guide on every single hunter rumor in old school RuneScape at the time of recording this. Now, if there's more hunter rumors added, I might update this video as well, so keep that in mind if you're watching this in a year or two. I don't know if Jagex is going to add more hunter rumors for new hunter creatures that they might incorporate into the game, but this is a collective of every single hunter rumor in the game currently. I'm going to add chapters so that you guys can skip around to the video for what exactly you're looking for. If you're looking for the individual video, you can also find that on my channel as well, as this is just a compilation. But again, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, subscribe to the channel if you're new and leave a like for the algorithm. There was a lot of hours and time spent on the wiki to figure out the most efficient ways and where everything was located and how to do them, and it was a giant task. So again, thank you guys for watching, and if you could, sub to the channel. We are on our way to 3K. And with that, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on hunting tropical wagtail in old school RuneScape. For the requirements, you don't need much, only 19 hunter. You get 95.2 hunter experience per catch. Here is their loot table. As you can see, you're going to be getting bones, raw bird meat, and stripy feathers every single time that you catch a wagtail. And on top of that, the tail feathers, which is for the hunter rumors, which you only get from hunter rumors. It's a 1 in a 20 drop chance, so overall not too bad. And this rumor does go fairly quickly, so keep that in mind as well. As far as your equipment go, graceful if you have it, but it doesn't really matter. You can really kind of wear whatever you want, just don't bring something that weighs you down. And the number of bird snares depending on your level. If you're a level 1, you can have 1 bird snare, 20, 2 bird snares, 40, 3 bird snares, 60, 4 bird snares, and 80, 5 bird snares. So keep that all in mind when you're looking at this. The more bird snares you can lay down, the better. I'm more making these guides for the hunter rumors that just came out not too long ago. The other thing I wanted to call out was the catch chance. As you can see, at level 19, you have a little bit over 50% chance to catch these. Around level 41 is about 75% chance to catch them, and anything over 61 and above, you're always going to be able to catch them whenever a wagtail lands on your snare. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this. If you're a higher level, you're going to have absolutely zero problem doing this, but it's still decent even at the minimum level requirement. As far as the location goes and how to get here, I recommend using the fairy ring AKS, and then you're going to go ahead and run to the west and then south. This location on the map is where you should be. The other option that you can do is the Feldipil's teleport scroll. If you want to do that, you can go to the Myth Guild and then run northeast, or you could go Corsair Cove and you'll want to run over to the, I think you can get through here. I haven't actually been through Corsair Cove very often, so you may just be able to run north and then run west. However, you might need to run west then north. But either way, easiest way to get here is that teleport scroll from Feldipil's or the AKS fairy ring. And again, there's a few different places to catch them, but this location actually has a bunch of them, so I highly recommend just doing it in this location. Now, as far as the method goes, it's really easy. As you can see, we have 3 of them flying around right now. You're just going to go ahead and lay down your bird snares, and you just kind of want to put them in a couple different locations, still close enough to where you'll be able to get to them, but also you want to make sure they're kind of spread out, but not too far, so you're not running back and forth. But as you see, once you put them down, they're going to start to fly over, and we are going to start catching them right there. And that is all there is to it. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments section below, and I will get to them. I also do want to call out, if you're new to Hunter, that these traps will eventually fall down. As you can see, there's a little circle and a timer. When it gets red and a bird doesn't land on it, you're going to actually have to reset it up. So keep that in mind, that you can't go super AFK. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on hunting wild kebbit in old school RuneScape. For the requirements, you need 23 hunter. They give you 128 hunter XP. Here is the loot table. You get bones, kebbit claws, and raw wild kebbit for every single time that you catch a wild kebbit. And if you're on a hunter rumor, you have a 1 in 15 chance of getting the item you need of the kebbity tuft. So keep that in mind when you're doing your hunter rumors. Not a terrible drop rate, but you can only catch 1 of these at a time because you can only set up 1 trap at a time, which is kind of troll. As far as equipment goes, you can bring graceful if you want, but it's not super important because you're not really running around. Bring the Kandarin headgear if you have completed any of the achievement diaries for the Kandarin achievements, because it actually gives you an extra log every single time you cut down a tree. You do have to be wearing it though, so keep that in mind. Also bring a knife and an axe. You can bring starter logs if you you want to, but there's a lot of time in between actually catching the wild kebbits, so you have time to go get more logs. So I would just bring your axe and call it good. Also recommend bringing teleports to a bank so you can teleport out of here quickly, and a meat pouch if you want to collect the meats. As far as the location goes, the location is at the Piscatorus Hunter area. If you guys don't know how to get there, you can use the fairy ring, AKQ, and then you'll just want to run south. I do want to say that there are a lot of wild kebbit kind of everywhere here, but this is kind of the spot that I like to do it at right here. There's a few other ways to get here as well. You can use the Piscatorus teleport scroll if you want to, and if you don't have access to any of these, you can actually get here from running between the Tree Gnome Stronghold and Ardoin. So you can teleport to Ardoin, run west and then north, or the Tree Gnome Stronghold, run south, west, and then north again. And basically your path is just going to be where my mouse goes. And then there is an opening right here. So you are able to actually get through here if you don't have the other teleports mentioned, but obviously the other teleports are way better. And here are the wild kebbits hopping around enjoying life. Here's the boulder that you're going to use. There are a bunch of other boulders around here too, like more to the south there's wild kebbits. There are different kinds of kebbits to the north, so keep that in mind. But here is the method itself. You're going to go ahead and you're going to run over to these trees and cut them down. Like I said, with the Kandarin headgear, you do get 2 different logs. Once you get the log, go ahead and click the boulder to set the trap. You can dismantle if you need it. They will fall over if a wild kebbit hasn't actually gotten caught by a trap after a certain amount of time, so keep that in mind, but they will eventually go into that. And while you're waiting, you can just run over here and do some more wood cutting, get some more logs. But as you see, they actually did run into the trap, so you can go ahead and check the boulder, and we get all of those items. To repeat the process, you're just going to go ahead and set the boulder up again and go back to cutting down trees. This is a pretty semi-AFK method because you can only use 1 trap at a time, which is really annoying regardless of your hunter level, so that's kind of troll. It's kind of a super chill semi-AFK way to train hunter, and that's basically all there is to it. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on hunting Sapphire Glacialis in old school RuneScape. The requirements are 25 hunter if you are using a net, but if you want to catch them barehanded, it requires 35 hunter to catch them. You'll get 34 hunter XP per catch. And here is the loot table, not too much to it. If you catch them using a butterfly jar, you will get them as an item, and you can use them for potions and also giving players a defense bonus if you use the butterflies on them. There's also a 1 in 75 chance that when you're on a hunter rumor that you get a blue butterfly wing, which is the item that you need to complete that hunter rumor. So 1 in 75 is not that great. It's kind of really tragic because you also get a lot of XP and you do a lot of running around. So overall, not the best hunter rumor in the world. As far as equipment goes, you will be running around with your head cut off, so I do recommend graceful or weight reducing armor if you have it. Also, you can bring super energy potions and staminas if you're super dedicated. You can feel free to do that. You may need to do that depending on how many of these it takes you to go dry, assuming that you're going for the hunter rumor, which I'm sure most of you are. Teleports to the bank are also needed, a butterfly net as well if you're not catching these barehanded. I do also want to call out though that you can complete the rumor barehanded, so keep that in mind. You don't need a butterfly net. You can catch these barehanded and still complete the hunter. If for some reason you're doing these for funsies and you actually want to catch them and put them into jars to use for later, definitely make sure that you bring your butterfly jars. Now, the reason I'm in my house is because I want to show you how to get there. It's not super intuitive how to get there, so I just want to show you since I have a fairy ring here. And I'm going to show you on the map where the actual location is. So the hunting location is a little bit north of Relica. It's a bit northeast. And the ways to get here, the easiest way is using the fairy ring DKS, which is what I'm going to show today. You can also use the Enchanted Lyle to get yourself to Relica, and then you'll just run northeast. Or, you know, there's a few other ways. If your house is in Relica, you can use a house portal, and you can talk to the people on Lunar Isle and get yourself knocked out and brought over to Relica. There's a lot of different ways to get here, but the easiest way is just use Fairy Ring DKS. Again, the reason why I wanted to show you guys this is, at least for those of you guys on Runelight, DKS when you go in is literally just an avalanche, and it is snowing a lot and it's kind of hard to see. So we're going to go ahead and use DKS. And again, here's where you're looking at. You're going to want to run to the west down this hill, and then you'll be able to see, and you can just go up this little walkway here to the north. Again, it is up here at this hunter sign. You're just going to walk up this little pathway. And once you get here, there are a few types of butterflies here, so keep that in mind when you're kind of struggling to see. There are these white ones here. They are the snowy knights, so those are not what you're looking for. You're looking for these blue little tiny butterflies floating around here. Right here is what you're looking for. Sapphire, that they're right there. And that's all there is to it. You're just going to go ahead and click on them, and you're just going to run around and try to find as many as you can and click on all of them. I do also want to call out that when you do catch them, you do also get your defensive boost as well. So kind of cool. I mean, you're not really going to use it for anything, but it's a thing that exists. And that's it. That is your method. Now, if I had jars, I would be putting them into the jar as well, but I'm not doing this for jars. But if you had them, you'd be filling them up, and then of course you would teleport to your bank and kind of repeat this entire process. I'm assuming most of you guys are just doing this for the hunter rumors, because I just started doing rumors, and there's not really a lot of guides out there, and a lot of the guides that are out there are from like 5 to 15 years ago, and some of them don't even have commentary. So my goal is to like redo all the hunter rumors and just make things a little more updated for us old school players. That's all I have. That is the method itself. Again, these sapphire butterflies are literally all over, so you can just kind of run around. You can stay in this kind of area, and it seems like a lot spawn here, but they are just random. They do just fly around with their heads cut off. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to catch swamp lizards in old school RuneScape. For the requirements, you only need 21 hunter. You get 152 hunter XP per catch using net traps. Here is a look at the loot table. Not much going on. Literally, you get a swamp lizard, and there's a 1 in 25 chance to get the swamp lizard claw for those of you guys that are on the hunter rumor task. So keep that in mind when you are on your hunter rumors and trying to get that claw. As far as the chance to catch swamp lizards go, it's not too bad overall. You have a 55% chance at level 29 and a 100% chance at level 65, and anything over level 65 hunter, you will continue just to always catch them. As far as the equipment goes, you should use the guild hunter outfit if you have it, since it increases the catch chance and the chance at receiving rare parts for your hunter rumors. If you don't have that, you get thrown graceful, and if you don't have that, it's no big deal. You can basically wear whatever you want to wear. Also, bring teleports to a bank and enough net and rope for the number of traps that you can lay. Now, the number of traps you can lay are based off your hunter level. So at level 1, you can use 1 trap. Level 20, 2 traps, 43 traps, 64 traps, and 85 traps. So keep that in mind. For net traps, you need both a rope and a net. So make sure you have at least 1 net and 1 rope for every single trap that you are allowed to set. So there's 2 different locations for swamp lizards. There's Carnivorous and a little bit north of Slep. I'm just going to call it Slep because I don't know the actual pronunciation, so we're just going to go with Slep. But I'm first going to show you the Carnivorous hunter area. And the way you get there is ALQ, and then you want to run west and south. You can also teleport to Carnivorous, use your Slayer ring and all that kind of stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and just use my fairy ring here. And if you are using your fairy ring, make sure that you bring your Drayman staff unless you have the Elite Lumbee Diaries done. So the fairy ring for Carnivorous is CKS if you want to use it. However, I recommend using ALQ instead, and that'll put you right in the Haunted Woods. And again, you are just going to want to run south and west, and here is where you're going. So this is the fairy ring. You want to get over here with the swamp lizards. You need to go to the west, and then you need to go south. And there might be a little spot here we can't get through, and you might need to just go like this way. So you'll need to go west and then south. But yeah, we'll see which way it takes us. You're also, just a heads up, if you're a lower level, that will take you to the feral vampires. Forgot about that small little detail. So if you don't want to risk it for the biscuit, you can also just take the Carnivorous direction and the Slayer ring direction. But if you just keep running south, there is the location that we're looking for. So yeah, you can't get through here. So you're just going to have to come way west and then down south, and you will get to this location. And those are the only thing that's aggressive, by the way. Nothing else here will hurt you. There's a spot on the other side for 5 traps if you're interested in that, so you can just click and run around that side as well if that's something you want to do. If you have the high level for level 60, you should be doing this at the other spot and Slep, in my opinion, because everywhere, like, they're closer, so I think that's kind of where you should go. But as far as this goes for net traps, all you need to do is you see these trees here, these little like dead looking trees. All you're going to do is you're just going to go ahead and set up the trap. And that is all there is to it. Now, if you want to set up more traps, feel free, and you just kind of set these 3 up and go from there. There is a 3-spot trap over here, and then again, there's more across this little spot in the swamp as well. And that is literally all there is to catching swamp lizards. The other thing you could do is also bring alkables here. If you bring alkables here, you'll be able to do something instead of just sitting around waiting for these swamp lizards to get caught. Now again, there is a better location that I like better personally, but that is just me. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that right now. That again is Slep, and the ways that you can get there is a Slep teleport. That is if you've done Fosani's Nightmare and you get the Sleppy tablet and you use it on the Draken's Medallion. That'll give you a teleport Slep, but I don't have that, so I just use the Draken's Medallion to TOB, and then I just run north. You can also go use the Port Phasmatis rowboat, but I don't recommend that because it does cost money. You can also use the Ectophile and just run south. So here is Slep. If you teleport here, all you got to do is just run northwest a little bit. Again, I'm going to be using TOB, which teleports me right here, and I'm just going to run north. So that is going to be my strategy, but again, Ectophile, you can run south as well. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Nope, that is Darkmire. That is not the right location. All right, so to TOB we go, and then we are just going to run north. And then again, I'm literally, all you do is you just follow this path, so I am not going to show you guys me running, so I'm just going to keep running. The other way you could go is if you wanted to, you could go to Darkmire as well. But if you go Darkmire, you're going to get teleported here, and then you're going to need to run north, and then over here to the east, and then you can use, if you're level 63 agility, you can use this long rope if you want to, but that is totally up to you. There's a couple different locations. There's these spots right here in the middle, but I'm actually using these over here, but that's just my personal preference. You can use whichever one you want. Swamp lizards are at both spots. And again, you're just going to go ahead and lay down the net traps over here, and you are good to go. But this is the spot I would use if you're able to get here. Swamp lizards aren't something that you normally keep in your inventory as an Iron Man. As a main, they're only 180 GP each. I also would not recommend keeping them in your inventory, so literally you're just going to do the whole fishing thing and catch and release and call it good. But that is all there is to the method. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to hunt spined Larupia in Old School RuneScape. For the requirements, it just requires a 31 hunter. The method is called a pitfall trapping. It gives you 180 XP per catch, and the loot table isn't too bad actually. You get big bones, which is just free prayer XP if you want it. Raw Larupia. So if you have a meat pouch, I highly recommend bringing it if you want to keep the meat. And then there is the Larupia ear, the Larupia fur, and the Tatty Larupia fur. Now, the Larupia ear is a hunter rumor, so you're not going to get that every single time, and you're only going to get it if you're on a hunter rumor itself, and that is a 1 in 15 drop. This can be tedious, but I've actually found that pitfall hunter rumors aren't too bad for the most part. I tend to get pretty lucky on them. Now, Kebbit tracking on the other hand. So when you're taking a look at the drop table as well, if you are a main, that's 1.9k per fur, which is pretty sweet. The other thing I want to call out is that you're going to normally get one or the other of the furs. You're not going to get both of them on the same drop from what I've seen. Keep that in mind. They're not always going to be that 1.9k drop. Sometimes you're going to get that 215 drop, and it'll be pretty sad, but it's kind of a hit or miss on which one you're going to get for those. The equipment you need, I would recommend bringing the Guild Hunter outfit if you have it, because it increases the catch chance as well as the chance of receiving the rare part that you are looking for your hunter rumor. If you don't have that, I recommend graceful or lightweight equipment options. You're going to need a teasing stick, teleports to the bank, the Carnivorous headgear, if you have it, because that'll actually give you some extra logs. And then you also need a knife and an axe, because you may be here for longer than expected. So that'll allow you to cut down more logs to continue to do this method, and you won't need a bank. And also a meat pouch if you want to collect the meats. The locations are at the Fell-Dip Hills, and there's a few different ways to get to the Fell-Dip Hills. You can get there by using Fairy Ring AKS. You can also get there from the Fell-Dip Hills teleport scroll. You can also get there from Corsair Cove, and you'll want to run to the west, and then you'll want to run north. Or you could get there from the Myths Guild and then run northeast. The Spine Larupia themselves are right here in this little location towards the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Fairy Ring AKS and run it south. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. I have everything I need in my inventory. Again, make sure you have everything before you leave, just to make it easier on yourself. Also, if you're using the fairy ring, make sure you bring your Drayman staff. Don't be that person that forgets the Drayman staff. I've been there. So again, once you're here, you're just going to want to run south, and you will see that there are pits here. It kind of makes them a little bit obvious, but when it's your first time here, it might be hard to tell it apart. There's a Spine Larupia themselves, but here's what a pit looks like. It's this little spot right here, and as you can see, it says Trap Pit. I did bring logs, so there's another one there, and there's another one there. So I'm gonna go ahead and I think, yep, there's one right there. So we're gonna go ahead and trap this pit, and then you're gonna poke them with the teasing stick and just jump on over. So sometimes they will jump over the traps themselves, I believe. I didn't see a chance on these, so that may not be a thing that happens, but I know with the sabers up in the polar hunting area, they actually do sometimes jump over the spot. For those of you guys that weren't paying attention to that, I'm going to go ahead and set a trap here. And then again, you just run over and tease the Spine Larupia, and then you're going to click on the trap to jump over it. And they're going to decide whether they want to jump over it or not. They're going to fall on the trap. Eventually, it'll give you this option to say dismantle collapse trap. You'll go ahead and dismantle, and you will get your loot. I also wanted to include that this is where the Carnivorous headgear comes in, and the axe as well, that if you run out of logs while you're doing this, you can also just, there's jungle trees around here, and you can just use them to cut down the trees to get more logs. And they're kind of scattered. You can't use these big trees, but you can use the smaller, like the dead trees there, the jungle trees. There's a bunch of trees around here that you can use. There's 3 right there as well. So that is how you get more logs and refill your inventory with logs as well. Now again, there's a couple more spots down here as well, but honestly, I would just kind of pick between 1 and 2 and just try to stay between those and just tease them and go about. If there's one that spawns right next to you, you can actually, and I've done this a few times with other things, you can tease them first and then run over here and set your trap up. So you don't actually have to set your trap up, then go tease them. You can tease them first and set your trap up. They will do a little bit of damage, but it shouldn't be too much unless you're lower level. If you're lower level, you can bring some food if you'd like as well. And again, just from those 2, we actually ended up getting 3.8K. So nothing too insane, but still a little bit of money, and actually it's about 5K when you add the meats in there as well. That is all there is to killing these. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to hunt Barb-Tailed Kebbit. If you guys are looking up this guide, you're probably doing your hunter rumors, so I'm going to show you everything you need to know. The requirements are 33 hunter, and they use deadfall traps, and you can only set 1 of these traps at a time. Even if you're 99, it's really quite questionable. You get 168 XP per catch, and for the loot table, it's always guaranteed that you get bones, a Barb-Tailed harpoon, which used to be useful back in the day, a raw Barb-Tailed Kebbit, and the Kebbit tuft is a 1 in 15 chance in order to complete your hunter rumor, basically, because that's the item that you need for your hunter rumor. The equipment I recommend is the Guild Hunter outfit if you have it, because it increases the catch chance as well as increases the chance of receiving the rare parts for your hunter rumor, so it just speeds your rumors up basically. Otherwise, graceful or literally anything else, you're not going to be doing a lot of running around. You're going to be sitting around waiting for the deadfall traps to actually activate. It's also recommended that you bring the Carnivorous headgear, because it will give you extra logs whenever you're cutting down trees, and those logs you're going to use for your deadfall trap. A knife, an axe, and also a teleport to the bank and the meat pouch if you want to collect those raw Barb-Tailed Kebbits. I also recommend bringing a couple starter logs just so you have something to get started with, but again, you'll be cutting down trees in order to get logs for the traps themselves. As far as the location goes, they are found in Feldip Hills, so you can get there by taking the ferry ring AKS and running south. You can get to Corsair Cove and run north. You can go to the Mist Guild and run north and then east, or you can use a Feldip Hills teleport and run to the east around this little pond / lake here. You're also going to need a Drayman staff if you don't have your elite Lumbee diaries done and you're using a fairy ring, so keep that in mind. That's why I don't have it in my inventory, because I have the elites done. Don't mess that up, otherwise you're going to be annoyed when you get to your fairy ring. But we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go use the AKS method, and I'm just going to run south of the fairy ring. And again, they are super easy to get to. They are literally right here. As you can see, they're hopping around, having a good old time, living the dream. We're just going to go ahead and set up a trap right here. And you can see there's multiple different places around where you can set traps up, and that will use one of your logs. And then while you're here waiting for them to get caught, you can just run down and cut jungle trees. You will get some more logs, and then that's it. Basically, you're just going to be waiting around until you catch them. Sometimes they get distracted. Other times you're actually able to catch these fairly quickly. And again, it's that 1 in 15 drop chance for your hunter rumor. After they run into the trap themselves, you're going to be able to go and check the boulder, and that's going to give you everything that we listed before, and you can go ahead and set up another trap. And that is all there is to catching these. Fairly simple. Good luck on your hunter rumor grinds. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on catching snowy nights in old school RuneScape. Most of you guys are probably looking to catch these for your hunter rumors, so I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. The requirements are 35 hunter if you are using a butterfly knife, and 45 hunter if you want to catch them barehanded. They give you 44 hunter XP per catch, and their loot table is ridiculously small. If you're using butterfly jars, you're going to be able to actually catch them for 1k each, and you'll get a snowy night, and that's the item in the jar. And you have a 1 in 75 chance for your white butterfly wing, which is why it's very important to use your Gilded Hunter outfit if you have it. If not, this task could last forever. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully you're very lucky when it comes to things like this. If not, you might want to skip it. Just saying. For the equipment, it's recommended that, again, you have the hunter outfit, which will increase your catch chance as well as increase your chance of receiving the hunter rumor rare part. Otherwise, graceful if you have it, because you're going to be running around with your head cut off. Also recommend bringing some super energy potions or some staminas if you want, so you don't have to go bank as often or go back to your house, depending if you have a pool there. Teleports to the bank so you can get back. A butterfly net if you're level 35. If you're 45 and higher, don't worry about it. And butterfly jars if you want to catch them, but you can still get the hunter rumors without bringing the jars and catching them in those. There's a couple different locations I want to show you, but they're located at the Relica hunting area, which is right here. However, if you have access to Weiss, they're also up here as well in a more confined space. So I highly recommend, if you have access to Weiss up here, that you use that, but that requires a quest requirement. The ways to get there are a fairy ring DKS, which is what I recommend. However, you can also use an enchanted lyre or the Fremnik sea boots 4 if you have them. The boat to Weiss is also right here, just a little bit west of the fairy ring. So I personally am going to be using that fairy ring, and I'm going to be showing you this lower level Relica hunter spot first, and then after that we're going to go to Weiss. So I'm going to go ahead, and the fairy ring again is DKS. Bring your Drayman staff if you don't have the Lumbee elites completed. Once you go through the fairy ring, you're going to want to run to the west, down this little mountain, and then you're going to want to run up this little path here to the north, and you will be able to find these snowy nights there. Again, you're going to see why it's kind of annoying to catch them here, because there's also multiple butterflies that are here instead of just the snowy nights. So you're looking for the giant white butterflies. The blue ones are the sapphire butterflies that you're not looking for. So that is what the snowy nights look like. This butterfly right here is what you're looking for. And again, there's about 6 spawns here, I believe that the wiki said. So you can run around and try to catch them. But again, you're not looking for the small little blue butterflies. You're looking for the bigger white ones. That is if you want to use this location. However, I do recommend, if you have making friends with my arm partially completed and have access to Weiss, I recommend that you do this next location. I'm going to go back and teleport to my house and get back to the fairy ring, so you guys kind of have a spot of where you need to be located and then go from. So again, I'm going to use fairy ring DKS to get us back to where we were. And again, you're going to want to run west off this mountain. So just keep running to the west, and there's going to be a boat here If you have access to Weiss, you can just right click on the boat and then go to Weiss, and it will show this little cutscene. And once you're here, is the most annoying part of this whole thing is that you're gonna have to climb these rocks and do a little bit of agility here, which kind of sucks, and you do fall just like that. So hopefully you don't fall a stupid amount, because that would be tragic. Basically, you're just gonna kind of work your way up this mountain here. And for those of you wondering, I do have 87 agility. Keep that in mind. I do still fail when I do this and run up here, but you can already see the snowy knights are just chilling right there. Now, there's only 4 or 5 spawns here, but if you notice, they're like right in this area. There's no other butterflies. You can just run around and catch them fairly quickly right here. And it's just like a boom, boom, boom right away, like nice and quick and easy. So I'd highly recommend doing it here at Weiss if you can. And that is all there is to catching these snowy knights. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to hunt prickly kebbits in old school RuneScape. Those of you guys watching this video, you are probably working on hunter rumors, so I will get right to the requirements. You need 37 hunter, and that is literally the only requirement you need. They are also caught using deadfall traps. You get 204 hunter XP per catch, and their loot table is super easy. It is just bones and kebbit spikes and kebbity tuft. The kebbit tuft is your item for the hunter rumor, so that is a 1 in 15. Your kebbit spikes, you can bring a chisel and actually get some nice fletching XP if you're interested in that, instead of just leaving there or dropping them. But also they're 920 GP on the GE, so you might just want to save them depending on how long you're here for. For the equipment, it is recommended that you wear the Guild Hunter outfit, which will increase your catch chance as well as increase the chance of receiving a rare part for your hunter rumor. Otherwise, just wear graceful, or honestly, they're right next to the fairy ring, so you could just wear whatever you want, to be honest. Kandarin headgear is recommended because they give you extra logs every single time you cut down a tree, which will be useful for this method. You're also going to need a knife and an axe, teleports to a bank so you can leave when you are done, or you can just use the fairy ring. I would also recommend bringing a couple logs to get yourself started. So there's a couple different ways to get to the Piscatoris hunting area. You can either use the fairy code AKQ if you would like. That's the method I'm going to be using in this video because they are literally right outside of the fairy ring. You can also use a Piscatoris teleport scroll as well, in which case we'll put you up here towards the north and you're just going to have to run south. You can also run north from Artie and the Tree Gnome stronghold as well. So you can teleport to Artie and run north, and then run west and then north again, or to the Tree Gnome stronghold to get out of here and then run west and then north through this little path right here. The other option is the Western Banner 4, which will also teleport you to this area. And with that out of the way, we can go ahead and get started again. I personally am going to be using a fairy ring. Don't forget your Drayman staff. If you have the elite lumbies done, you don't have to worry about the Drayman staff. We're going to go to AKQ, which is where the fairy ring is. And again, they're right outside the fairy ring. So once you get here, they are all of these dudes hopping around. So you can literally pick any of these spots that you want. We're just going to go over here and lay the trap. And then again, it was recommended that you bring the Kandarin headgear, because if you do that, you can just chop down these trees and they will give you 2 logs instead of 1 while you wait for the dead trap to try to catch the kebbits. Now, the tragic thing about deadfall traps is that you actually can only place 1 at a time, so you're kind of stuck here waiting until they go do that when they get captured. After they get captured, all you gotta do is run over and check the boulder. You're gonna get all of your items and then go ahead and set up another trap and you are good to go. And you could just kind of chill, wait around, and hope that you get your hunter rumor item quickly. That said, that's literally all there is to catching these prickly kebbits. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to catch Embertailed Jerboas in old school RuneScape. For the requirements, you need 39 hunter, and you also need box traps in order to catch these. They give you 137 hunter XP, and if you take a look at the loot table, you will always get a Jerboa tail, which is only worth 344 GP for those of you mains out there, and you have a 1 in 50 chance to get the large Jerboa tail, and that is what you're going to get for hunter rumors. If you're not on a hunter rumor, you're not going to be able to get that because obviously it's only for when you're doing hunter rumors. For the equipment, I recommend that you have the Guild Hunter outfit, as it increases your chance to catch these, and it also increases your chance to get the hunter rumor part. Otherwise, graceful or really anything you want to wear is totally fine. The spot I'm going to show you is pretty close to the fairy ring, and you're not going to be running around with your head cut off anyway, but if you have graceful, you might as well bring it if you don't have the hunter outfit. And the number of box traps that you can carry based on your hunter level. So if you're higher than a level 20, you can carry 2, level 40, 3 traps, level 60 4 traps, and level 85 traps. And again, that just determines on how many box traps you can lay down. The more box traps you can lay down, the more chances you have to catch them, and the better hunter XP you're gonna get, and the quicker you're going to get the rare part that you're looking for. Now, there are 2 locations. I'm gonna show you one of the locations in the video, but I'm gonna show you where both locations actually are. So you can catch them in the Avium Savannah, and you can get there by using Fairy Ring AJP, and then you're just gonna run southeast, and it's literally right next to the fairy ring basically, which is why I'm going to show you that. The other option is you can go to the Quetzal at the hunting guild and then run around it. You have to run around it because there's no other exit out of the hunter guild except right here. So you have to run around the hunter guild, and there are more right here, or you can obviously use your teleport from the Quetzal whistle and then just run around to this position. The other way to get to the savannah is to just go to the Civitas Illifortis, teleport, and run south, and you'll basically just end up where you need to be to catch the Jerboas. The other option is you could take a charter ship and then run to the east and make a quite a long run, or just run north to this hunter area. But those are the 2 hunter areas that exist for these. Again, I'm going to show you the one next to the fairy ring because it's the easiest to get to. I did also want to call out that the area over here has 11 spawns, and the area next to the fairy ring has 8 spawns. I don't think it really matters that much, but you can keep that in mind if that's something that you care about. Normally, there's not a lot of people here doing these, so you shouldn't have a problem trying to hop worlds and find a spot that's open. All right, again, with that, we are going to go ahead and take the fairy ring. Again, if you don't have the Elite Lumbee Diaries done, make sure you bring your Drayman Staff. I have them done, so I'm not going to take my Drayman Staff because I don't need it. And then we're going to go AJP to the savannah. Once you're here, make sure you run southeast, and they are literally right here. Like, this is the area where you want to hunt them at. It's nice and easy. They're just out here hanging out, living their life. And we're just going to go ahead and put 5 traps down here. Now, if you know how to 3-tick, feel free to start 3-ticking these. I didn't bring my Harlander and Pestle Mortar and all that stuff to 3-tick because I'm not going to be here that long. But if you know how to 3-tick, make sure you do that. But I'm assuming if you know how to 3-tick, you already know this hunting method. And they are going to just run and take one for the team and hop in here. And then if you want to be lazy about it, you can right click and reset. Otherwise, you can go ahead and just run over and check the shaking box, and then go ahead and lay your trap down. Or of course, there's a 3-tick method as well, which I can show you guys later if you're interested in another video. But I want to make that a tutorial of its own because it's kind of an interesting thing. It's honestly 3-ticking hunting is not that hard. I thought it was going to be super hard, but it's not. But guys, this is literally all there is to the method. It's super easy, super consistent, and the catch rates seem to not be too bad overall. But I am also a higher hunter level, so that probably plays a role in it as well. But as you can see, we are already up to 9 Jerboa tails, and they do stack, which is nice. So for those of you mains out there, if you want to keep them, you can go ahead and keep them. You can also turn them into spears, I believe, and get a little bit of fletching XP, but it's only like 10 fletching XP or something. It's not really worth it, but something that you can definitely do. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to hunt horned Graahk in old school RuneScape. The requirements are 41 hunter, and they require pitfall trapping. You get 240 hunter XP per catch, and their loot table has a decent amount of things on it. You're always going to get big bones and raw Graahk. You're also going to get Graahk fur and tatty Graahk fur, and these are common, but you do get them basically every single drop, but they're not always because they switch back and forth between each other based on how lucky you are. You also have a 1 in 15 chance to get the Graahk horn spur, and that is the hunter rumor item that you need in order to complete your hunter rumor. As far as equipment goes, it's recommended that you use the guild hunter outfit so you have an increased chance at catching these as well as getting the hunter rumor item. Otherwise, use graceful if you have it. You'll need a teasing stick, teleports to a bank, Kandarin headgear if you have it to be able to cut extra logs while you're there. You need a knife and an axe. You can also bring some starter logs if you want to speed this process up just a smidge. I only recommend a few just because there's a bunch of trees there and you can just cut them down while you're waiting for the Graahk animation to finish being caught. And obviously a meat pouch if you want to collect the meats from the Graahk. As far as the location goes, the horned Graahk are located in Karamja, and the easiest way to get there is the ferry fairy ring CKR, so that's the method I'm going to use, and that's the method that I recommend that you guys use. However, if you don't have a fairy ring, you also can use the achievement diaries and just teleport here at the Jungle Forester and run north, or at Shiloh Village you can use the Karamja Gloves 2 or the achievement cape, and if you have 79 agility you can use the shortcut and then you can just go to the west, or you can run out and then run to the west, or if you don't have either of those you can go to the Typo One-Eye Teleport and run south, or if you're really hurting and down bad you can either use the House Teleport in Karamja and run south, or you can use the Amulet of Glory and run to the west and then south. So there's like 500 ways to get here, but again, using Fairy Ring CKR is just kind of the strat because it's really easy to get to. So with that, we're going to go ahead and go to the hunting spot. Again, if you're using a fairy ring and you don't have the Lumbee Elites done, make sure that you bring your Draymond staff. We are going to go to CKR, and they are right to the west, nice and easy to get to. As you can see, we're around a bunch of trees, but this is where they are at. Over there, chilling, living the dream, and we are about to catch them. So, just like other pitfall traps, what you're going to do is you're going to set a trap down, and then you're going to go get the attention of one of them by teasing them. And then you're just going to run over here, wait till they get caught up to you, and then jump over the spiked pit. Now, I'm not 100% sure if they're able to jump over. If they do jump over, they're not going to jump over the same trap again, so you would have to go lay another trap in another pit. And again, I don't know if they can jump over or not, but if they can, you can't use the same pit. Just like that, we're going to go ahead and dismantle the Graahk that was here, and you'll see that we got the Tatty Graahk fur, and we got Big Bones and our raw Graahk. There's a bunch of them over here. We're going to go ahead and lay down a trap. We're going to go tease one of them, and we are going to go and jump over the spiked pit. And that is basically your gameplay loop. Whenever you are ready for more logs, you can just run over here to these dead trees, cut them down, and boom, more logs, and you're good to go. And then make sure you dismantle the collapsed trap. And that's all there is to the hunting method. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to hunt spotted kebbit in Old School RuneScape. For the requirements, you need 43 hunter, and you'll be using falconry in order to catch these. They give you 104 hunter XP per catch, and their catch chance isn't too bad. At 43, it's only 57%. At 80, it goes all the way up to 100%, and the graph is pretty solid and goes up every little bit with level, which is really nice. Also, let's take a look at the loot table, and the loot table isn't very large. You have bones and spotted kebbit fur that you get for every single catch, but they're not really super worth it. However, the kebbity tuft is a 1 in 10 drop for your hunter rumor, which is absolutely insane. These are super fast for your hunter rumor, so I don't recommend putting them on your block list. And every single time you get these, I do recommend doing them. They're super easy. They're easy to get to. It's easy to hammer out. As far as the equipment goes, you'll need 500 GP in order to get a falcon. You can also pay the falconeer there 500k, and it's kind of an investment. You'll need to basically do this 1,000 times in order for this to pay off, so that's up to you if you want to do it or not. I did it personally because I kept forgetting my 500 GP and I kept getting annoyed, so I just threw the money at it, and I'm an Iron Man, and the 500k was it is what it is. But if you're bored and have a lot of money, 500k, throw it at the falconeer, then you don't have to worry about bringing the 500 GP in the future. It's 500 GP in order to get a falcon. Recommended that you wear the Guild Hunter outfit because it increases your catch chance as well as increases the chance of getting your Hunter Rumor part. Otherwise, graceful if you have it, and teleports to the bank. I am going to say this a couple times throughout the video, but while you're doing falconry, you actually can't have anything in your hands. So make sure to take off your gloves and weapons and anything like that while you're going to be entering the spot to do this method. This method is in Piscatoris, so we've been here a lot over the recent videos, but there's a fairy ring AKQ, which is super easy to use, and then you'll just run to the east. The falconeer is right here. You can also use the Piscatoris teleport and run southeast. You can also use the western banner for if you'd like, or you can teleport to the tree gnome stronghold, run south and then to the west and north, or you could go arty and go north and then west and then north once again, and you'll want to end up here at the falconeer, but I highly recommend just using the fairy ring. If you don't have the Lumbee Elites done, make sure you bring your Draymond staff. That'll be very important. And once you go through the fairy ring, again, you are just going to run to the east, and you'll see this building. That's basically where we're going. The other thing I want to call out is the way you get in here is actually at the north side. There's a stile. You want to go ahead and climb over your stile. And again, You can't wear anything while using falconry in your glove slot, so make sure you take that out. Same thing with your weapons and your shield slot if you're using it. So Matthias is the one that we're going to be getting our falcons from. So once, I believe the first time you have to talk to him and go through a dialogue saying that you're interested in falconry. However, once you're done with that, you can just use the quick falcon option. And as you can see, we now have a falcon. Why this wasn't the hunter pet and you can't just wear the falcon, I'll never know, but yeah, falcon. Anyway, once we get him, we're just gonna run south a little bit and you will see the spotted Kebbits here chilling. There's also a bunch of other Kebbits running around with their heads cut off, but you can just go ahead and click on them, and that's literally all there is to it. Once your falcon catches them, you can walk up and take the falcon back, and that's literally all there is to the method. Sometimes they run away with their, with the falcon on them, which makes it interesting. Other times when your catch chance isn't as high, you're going to throw the falcon out and he's just instantly going to come back when he gets there just because he wasn't able to make the catch. Again, all you need to do is just click on them and catch them. And again, at a 1 in 10 drop rate for your hunter part, it's absolutely insane. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to hunt black warlocks in old school RuneScape. The requirements are 45 hunter if you're using a butterfly net and 55 hunter if you want to catch them barehanded. You get 54 hunter XP per catch, and their loot table is pretty simple. If you're using a butterfly jar to catch them, you'll actually get them in your inventory, and they are worth 471 GP at the GE. And you have a 1 in 75 chance at getting the black butterfly wing, which is a terrible chance, and I highly recommend if you have this hunter rumor that you skip it because it's really not worth it. That said, if you really want to do it, like catching butterflies, go ahead, be my guest. As far as your equipment goes, I recommend the Guild Hunter outfit because it increases the catch chance as well as increases the chance of receiving your hunter rumor part. So highly recommend that, especially for a 1 in 75 drop chance. You really need to speed these up if you can. Otherwise, if you don't have it, I recommend just wearing Graceful and bringing Super Energies or Staminas if you have them and you are unable to block this task or get another task. Also recommend having teleports to the bank so you can teleport out, a butterfly net if you are catching them at level 45, and a butterfly jar if for some reason you want to catch them and sell them to the GE, or you're an iron and you like the strength bonus that they give you. Feel free to go fill your inventory up with those as well. So we're going to go ahead and catch the ones at the Feldip Hills. They are also caught at the Farming Guild, but I don't recommend catching them there because they just really don't have great spawns. So we're going to be catching them at Feldip Hills. So we're going to use Fairy Ring AKS and run south. They're actually kind of in like this area right here, kind of like in a cone shape. So that's basically where we're going. The other way you can get here is a Feldip Hills teleport and run a little bit southeast, and you should find them there. You can run to the Myths Guild and run northeast if you would like to do so, or you could go to Corsair Cove and run north and you will be good to go. Those are the options that you can use. I personally am just going to use the Fairy Ring because I'm here in my POH. For those of you guys that don't have the Elite Lumbee Diaries done, make sure you bring your Draymond staff, and again that code was AKS for the Feldip Hills Hunter area. So we're going to go ahead and hop in there, and then we're just going to run south from here. And again, the thing about these black warlocks is they're kind of difficult to see, but you will see them. Again, just go ahead and run south, and there's one right here. There it is, a black warlock. So we're going to go ahead and catch that. And kind of the key here is try to figure out where they spawn. And if you see them spawn, you can basically just stand there and wait till they spawn. So that would kind of be a key. So it spawned right here. So we're going to go ahead and catch, and that was around this area. So hopefully it spawns there again. And notice that we are getting a strength bonus, which is always nice. So see, this is kind of your strat. You don't want to run around with your head cut off. You want to find them, catch one, see where they spawn, and then you just want to spam catch. That's like your whole objective. So that way you're not running around with your heads cut off, you're not using your stamina potions if you don't have high agility, you're not using your super energies. You just basically want to stand here and spam catch. Again, I don't have butterfly jars, so you're not seeing anything in my inventory. But for your hunter rumor, you don't actually have to have the butterfly jars in your inventory. And again, since we found this area where they spawn, it's super nice. And for those of you guys that are wondering where this area is, it's right here by this part of the lake, right next to the spine Larupas, and also over to the east of the Barb-Tailed Kebbit. Pretty simple method, but you just want to catch one wherever you find one. There's like 6 or 7 around this area. You want to catch one, figure out where it spawns, and go stand right there. And with that said, that's all there is to this method. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to catch orange salamanders in old school RuneScape. For the requirements, it requires 47 hunter, and you get 224 hunter XP per catch, and you're going to catch them using net traps. For their loot table, it's pretty basic, nothing too insane. You do get the orange salamanders, which are practically worthless if you're a main, so don't recommend catching them just for fun, but they are actually really good hunter XP in general. And they have a 1 in 25 drop chance for the orange salamander claw, and that is your hunter rumor art. So overall, 1 in 25, not bad, especially for getting the XP that you're getting from these. It's actually not that bad. The only annoying thing is you're in the desert and you need water skins and all that fun stuff. As far as the catch chance goes, you have a 57% chance to catch these at level 47, and that goes all the way up to 100% chance at level 87 hunter. The catch chance isn't too bad for these. As far as equipment goes, I recommend the guild hunter outfit because that does increase your catch chance as well as increase the chance of receiving a rare part if you're on a hunter rumor. Otherwise, graceful if you have it, teleports back to the bank, enough net and rope for the number of traps that you're able to lay. So if you're at level 40, you can lay 3 traps, 60, 4 traps, 80, 5 traps. I personally only have 4 nets and rope in my bank, and I couldn't be asked to go get more because Iron Man life, so that's what we're gonna roll with. The other thing I do want to recommend is that if you're using the Uzir location, bring some water skins, just like, you know, a couple, like 3 or 4, depending on how long you're gonna be out there. Also, if you completed Beneath Cursed Sands, I do also want to recommend the Circlet of Water because you can basically have infinite water source there and you don't have to worry about water skin. So if you completed that quest, highly recommend that you bring that tiara as well. So I'm going to show you guys 2 locations. One location in my opinion is way better than the other, but you do need the quest Beneath Cursed Sand in order to actually access that hunter area. So I'm going to go over the other location first. And for the hunter location, it is north of the fairy ring DLQ in the Uzir hunting area. For those of you guys that have completed the Golem quest, there's the Golem quest, there's the hunting location. You can also use your desert amulet if you have one and want to use those charges. You can also use your achievement cape if you have it. You can teleport to Alcaird and run south and pay for your shanty pass. Don't forget you have to pay for it, and then just run to the east. So we're going to go ahead and use a DLQ for the fairy ring, and make sure you bring your nets and ropes, and we're going to go ahead and run over there. So DLQ again, if I could type. For those of you guys using a fairy ring and you don't have your Lumbia elites done, make sure that you bring a Draymond staff as well. And once you get here, go ahead and run to the north. And again, bring your water skins or that tiara as mentioned before. And here is the hunter location. As you can see, there are 4 different spots here for you, and there's 3 more up here. And all you need to do is just click on these little trees here, and you're going to go ahead and set your net trap. After that, all you need to do is wait for the orange salamanders to get a little curious and get picked up by your net traps. Sometimes they will fail and you'll just grab the net and the rope and then put them back up. Don't forget that when they do fail, you'll need to pick up both items as they will be on the ground. Again, as you see there, the orange salamander just ran into the trap, so you can go ahead and check the trap. You'll get all your items in the orange salamander and your 224 XP. And you can go ahead and set another trap. That is the first hunter location. Again, here is where you're looking at on the map, but I am going to show you the, in my opinion, better location and the one that I personally use when doing these hunter rumors. So we're back chilling at the house again, and I want to show you guys the second location that I highly recommend if you've completed Beneath Cursed Sands. If you haven't yet, you cannot use this location, but there's a fairy ring AKP. Here's the hunter area right here. So you're just going to do these level 62 agility jumps if you have 62 agility. Otherwise, you can teleport or take a carpet ride to Sophonim, and once you're in Sophonim, you can just run southeast to this gate here and then run around this path and you will find the hunter area there. Or you don't even have to go into Sophonim if you don't want to, and you can just run around the city. And we were trying to get here, but again, highly recommend if you have 62 agility that you can just use this fairy ring path, AKP. So we're going to go ahead and use that right now. Personally, this is what I did for my hunter rumors. And again, 62 agility, go ahead and jump over these stepping stones, and then you have one more stepping stone to cross over, and then just go ahead and run north. And as you can see, the trees are up there, and these are all super close. You can get them going like clockwise or counterclockwise depending on how you lay these down and want to do things, but they're all right here, and you just spam set them up, and then you just wait for the salamanders. And the great thing here, especially if you're over level 80, is that there's 5 of them, because you can actually lay 5 traps. So that makes it for a nice kind of little rotation. So again, highly recommend using this anyway, even if you're not level 80 hunter, but it just makes everything go nicer. They seem to go in like a counterclockwise fashion when you set them down. So if you'll notice, I set this one down first, and then this one, that one, and they're all kind of like going in order. So that's kind of the cool thing about this one. and then you'll see that one will get picked up, and then this one will get picked up next. It's really actually kind of interesting how they must have coded that in the background. And literally this entire time, you'll just be making a giant circle and getting your Hunter XP and hopefully your Hunter Rumor. Today's video is going to be a quick guide that can save you a stupid amount of time, things I wish I knew when I was doing these Hunter Rumors. It's going to be a quick guide to hunting Razor-backed Kebbit in old school RuneScape. The requirements are 49 Hunter, and you're going to be using the Noose Wand method, which is a tracking method. You're going to get 348.5 Hunter XP per catch, and their loot table seems to be large, but it's not really super worth it. You have bones, you have long Kebbit spikes, which you can fletch if you'd like, but you don't get a lot of fletching XP. They're also worth 616 GP at the GE if that's something, if you're a main you're interested in doing. You can get your raw beast meat if you would like. There's also a 1 in 15 chance to get your Kebbity tuft for your Hunter Rumor part, which I personally have went way over drop rate on these, and I've also went and gotten them in the first like hunt or two. So definitely recommend using the Hunter outfit, and you can also get an old boot, which is just kind of worthless. I have also gotten an old boot, even though they don't know the drop rate. It is a thing that's happened, so keep that in mind. As far as your equipment needed, I recommend the Guild Hunter outfit because it'll increase your catch chance as well as increase the chance of receiving the rare part. Increasing the catch chance doesn't really mean too much because I think it's 100% catch chance no matter what, as long as you catch them in the right spot and you use your Noose Wand. If you don't have that, go ahead and use a Graceful. You'll also need a Noose Wand and a teleport to the banks in order to get out. Also, I do recommend, this is the most important thing I have ever recommended on this channel, almost, because this is one of the most annoying hunter tests I've ever done. The most important thing I can recommend for this is a Ring of Pursuit. And the Ring of Pursuit actually shows you the entire track of the Kebbit location. And it literally, it's so easy. It's phenomenal. Otherwise, you got to go run around and click and hope that it's this bush. And then it'll lead you to another bush, which there's like 3 bushes that you could click on and hope it's one of those bushes. And then you got to go run in 3 more bushes. It's a whole thing. If you have this ring, you don't even have to click on any of the bushes. You just literally click the spot to start the trek, and then it shows you exactly where they end up. I didn't know this when I was doing my Hunter Rumor, so I was doing it the old-fashioned way. Now I feel stupid, but hopefully this video was made for you guys to not feel like me and not waste your time completely, because this speeds up this task like 10x. It's crazy. It's an opal ring, so all you need is a silver bar, an opal to make it, and a level 7 magic enchant. Well, it's a level 1 enchant, but you only need level 7 magic in order to use it. Highly recommend it. If you don't have this ring, use it, please. It'll save you literally hours. And remember to equip your Noose Wand. As far as the location goes, it is at the Piscatorius Hunter area, so you can use the Fairy Ring AKQ and run to the east. The Kebbits are right here, by the way. Or you could use the Piscatorius teleport and run southeast. You can also teleport to the Tree Gnome Stronghold, run south, then west, then north, or Ardoin and run north, then west, then north again. With that said, if you are using a Fairy Ring, make sure you bring your Drayman Staff if you don't have the Lumbee Elites done. So we're going to go ahead and go to AKQ. Again, I'm going to show you guys how stupid this whole thing actually is. It's going to be crazy. This is going to be a game changer. I don't even recommend doing this without the Ring of Pursuit. I literally found this out while making this guide, and nobody else said anything about this ring, and I don't know why, because it's the most useful thing in the game. So again, you're going to go ahead and run east right near the falconry area. All you need to do is inspect the burrow. And because you have your Ring of Pursuit, you see these tracks. So normally these tracks would end like at this bush, for example, or these plants. You would have to search and inspect these different plants in order to hope that you get the next part of the track. But because we have the Ring of Pursuit, it automatically shows us where to go, and it's always going to be in a bush. So you would just right click and attack the bush with your Noose Wand equipped, and you're done. Literally, this blew my mind, and the ring is like 2400 GP right now. So again, you're gonna run to these burrows, and it's gonna show you exactly where it ends. Otherwise, you have to click on these, and I'll show you just for comparison. Also, the ring only has 10 charges, so keep that in mind as well. It speeds up this task so much it's worth it. So normally without the Ring of Pursuit, what you would want to do is you want to click inspect the burrow, and you'll see that it stops. So we would need to search this bush or the surrounding bushes and hope that one of these is what you're looking for. And it's going to be the surrounding bushes. It's never going to be a bush that's like way back here. It's always going to be like somewhere around where the tracks go. My guess is it's this one. Yep, and then you see it goes here to another burrow. And actually the burrow you won't need to inspect in general, but there we go. So after the 3rd track is when you can actually start to get the Kebbits. So anytime it's by a bush, just go ahead and right click and do attack and see if they're in there. they weren't in there. Shout out to this dude for getting Vorky. Yo, Peter Banana getting Vorky, clutch. So then you would keep going. So since it wasn't in that bush, you're gonna go ahead and search the bush. You don't find anything, so you go ahead and search this plant. Luckily, we found something. All right, so we're at this bush again. We're going to go ahead and attack the bush, and boom, we found it. Or you can just use the Ring of Pursuit and know exactly where they're going. So you see how it saves you time? Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to catch Sabre-Toothed Kebbit in Old School RuneScape. For the requirements, you need 51 Hunter, and you're going to be using Deadfall Traps. You'll get 200 Hunter XP per catch, and taking a look at their loot table, it's not really anything too special. You'll be getting regular bones, which aren't really worth anything, but you can always bury just for funsies. Kebbit teeth, which aren't really worth too much, but I guess you could sell them if you want. They're $4.79 right now. And then the Kebbity Tuft. And the Kebbity Tuft is your Hunter Rumor item. So if you're here for Hunter Rumors, that's what you're looking for. As far as equipment goes, I recommend the Guild Hunter outfit as it increases your catch chance. Although I think these might be 100% catch chance anyway, but if not, it'll increase your catch chance and it'll increase your chance of receiving the rare part for your Hunter Rumor. If not, just go ahead and bring Graceful, and honestly, you're not running around too much anyway, so even if you don't have Graceful, you don't have to worry about it too much. I also recommend the Kandarin headgear if you have it, because it actually gives you extra logs when cutting down trees, which may be useful if you go dry for Hunter Rumors, or if you just want to hunt these just for fun, you can stay there without banking. Also, you need to bring along with you a knife and an axe, as well as teleports to the bank, and I do also recommend a log or two just to get you started. You can hunt Sabre-Toothed Kebbits in the Relica Hunter area. Easiest way to get there is using the fairy ring DKS, and then you're going to run west and then north. You can also use an enchanted lyre and run to the east and then north. You can also use the Fremnik Sea Boots 4 if you would like as well, and then run to the east and then go north. But where you're looking for is right here at the Relica Hunter area. And with that said, I'm going to use the fairy ring. Again, it is DKS for the Relica Hunter area. Again, if you don't have the Lumbee Elite Diaries done, make sure you bring a Drayman staff. Don't forget your Drayman staff. And once you get here, you're going to want to go down the mountain, so you're going to have to run to the west, and then you're going to have to run north along the skinny path here, and you will almost be there. Again, using all the other ways, you'll still have to go through this path anyway. And once you are done running through that path, you're going to actually see the Sabre-Toothed Kebbits right here. So there's a couple different locations that you can use. I personally like using this location right here, just because it has easy access to these trees, and there's a bunch of Kebbits around anyway. I don't know if it matters too much which deadfall trap you choose, but that's just the one I use. So you're gonna go ahead and click on these boulders to set the trap, and once you set the trap, you just wait around, go cut some trees down, and eventually they will fall into the trap. So once they do, go ahead and check the boulder. And then you're gonna set the trap again. And then this is the time where you can throw on your Kandarin headgear and cut down these dead trees here, and it will give you 2 logs. Again, if you have the Kandarin headgear, but if you don't, it's still worth running around and cutting these trees down. And while you're doing this, the Sabre-Toothed Kebbit will end up in your deadfall trap again, and it is literally that easy. That's the entire method. Nice and chill, pretty easy. Again, nothing really great that they drop, so you're basically only going to be here for the Hunter Rumor part if that is something that you're looking for. Otherwise, I don't really know why you would be here, because there's other better training methods. But as I was having a discussion in the comment section before, deadfall traps are just kind of nice, especially if you just got done with like a Chinchompa Hunter Rumor and you were doing 3 ticks and all that fun stuff. So it's kind of chill, and the XP isn't as terrible as it could be. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to catch gray Chinchompas in Old School RuneScape. For the requirements, you need 53 Hunter, and you need box traps in order to catch them, and you will get 198.4 Hunter XP per catch. As far as their loot table goes, it is very, very basic. You are able to get 1 Chinchompa every single time you're successful at catching them, and that is 1.1k currently on the GE. And you also have a 1 in 50 chance of getting the Chinchompa Tuft, which is your Hunter Rumor rare part. So keep that in mind. 1 in 50 sounds like a lot, but it's Chinchompa, so it goes halfway quickly, and it's pretty decent XP. As far as the catch chance goes, at level 53, you're going to have about a 57-58% chance to catch them, and around 94-95 Hunter level, you're going to have a 100% catch rate, so that's pretty cool. When we're looking at this chart, we are looking at the gray line on the chart. So as you can see, it does eventually reach 100%, which is kind of cool. As far as the equipment goes, it is recommended that you have the Guild Hunter outfit. It increases the catch chance of catching Chinchompas, as well as the chance of receiving your Hunter rare part. Otherwise, if you don't have that, Graceful's fine, or honestly, you're not really running around with your head cut off anyway, so you could just honestly fashionscape it up if that's something that you want. Also recommended to have teleports to a bank, and you also need to have enough box traps for your level is recommended. I mean, you could just bring one, but I wouldn't recommend that. At level 40, you can have 3 box traps at a time. At level 60, you can have 4, and at level 80, you can have 5 box traps, which is why you see in my inventory, I have 5. Another thing I did want to mention out there is if you are 3-ticking or 1-ticking Chinchompas, you can use Guam or Harlander. You need 1 clean Guam or Harlander, and then you need Swamp Tar. And then I recommend bringing 5 or 10 like grimy Harlander or grimy Guams with you, just in case you mess up, because if you're like me, you're going to mess up a little bit at the beginning until you get the rhythm of it, and it's just a lot easier to bring grimy ones. So if you accidentally make the Guam tar or Harlander tar, you actually don't have to run to the bank. You can just clean 1 and then you're good to go. If you have multiple in your inventory at once, it'll ask you how many you want to make, so don't recommend that. And then you'll need a pestle and mortar, so keep that in mind. I'm just going to briefly go over how to 3-tick in this video, but nothing too crazy. I'll probably make a quick guide on that in the future. Now, you can catch them in 2 different locations. I am going to show you the Piscator's location first. There is another location at Karen Woodland as well, so that'll be after this location. I'll show you that spot, but they're just in a lot of different areas here. I'm personally going to go to this area down here because there's 4 spawns down there and they're really close together, and I just like this spot down here. The ways to get here is you can use Fairy Ring AKQ and then run to the south. You can also use a Piscator's teleport and then run south as well. You can also get here by going to the Tree Gnome Stronghold, running south, then west, then north, or Ardoin and running to the northwest. Those are the easiest ways to get here, in my opinion. I personally am going to be using the Fairy Ring AKQ, so I am ready to go. So I'm going to use Fairy Ring again, AKQ. If you are using a Fairy Ring, do not forget your Draymond Staff unless you have the Lumbee Elite Diaries done, where you don't need it. Again, I like the spot south of here, and we're going to keep going. As you can see, there's a Chinchompa here, and there's a couple right here, but there's only like 2 or 3. Down at this other location at the south, there's a lot more. So that's why we're just going to kind of skip all those and just run directly down there. Just because I like this spot better. This is where I've done a lot of my Hunter rumors at, and it just makes life, in my opinion, a lot easier. It's also less crowded if people are doing a lot of these Hunter tasks in general. All right, so here is the spot. As you can see, there's a Chinchompa here, there, and there. So we're going to go ahead and over towards this hill, we're going to go ahead and lay our traps down. So we are going to lay them down like normal. I have 5, so I'm going to make that little circle with the center filled into it, and then basically you're just going to get these set up and you're just going to wait. If you have 4 box traps, you make a little circle, and that little guy got snagged. So we're going to go ahead and right click reset. When you don't fail, you're going to see this little green clock here, and that means that you caught them. When you do fail, it'll be red, and then you'll just have to go reset them. Now, the 3-tick, and I haven't done this for a minute, so give me a second, I'm probably going to mess up. One of the ways I like to do it is just go to reset, and then whenever the trap goes away, you can go ahead and make your Guam tar, and then you'll be good to go. So same thing, reset, as soon as the trap goes away, boom, on your tar, and you are good. And that is all there is to 3-ticking. It's really pretty basic, but you are going to mess up every once in a while. If you wait too long, it will make the tar itself, and it just kind of gets annoying. But again, that's why you brought extra. And honestly, that's really all there is to it. The other ways, you can just click on them, but then you have to run over the spot again to be the most efficient, and it's really just not that nice. Also, if you have menu entry swapper, you can just change this reset to be a left click. Also makes it easier. Just another way to do it. But that's all there is to catching Chinchompas. If you guys are leaving the video, make sure you sub to the channel if you guys are new, and leave a like for the algorithm. Any questions, make sure to leave them in the comment section below. But with that said, I'm going to show you the location at Korend. Of course, I'm going to get all my XP first because, you know, I'm still not 99 Hunter, so every little bit of XP helps. So let's go snag the XP here. All right, the next spot is over in Korend Woodlands, and you'll notice the Hunter spot is literally right here. Now, a few of the quicker ways to get here is the Radha's Blessing teleport, which will teleport you right here to the woodland, and then you will just need to run to the north and then over to the west. and then the Xeric's Talisman to the Outlook, and then run southwest. You can also use the mine carts if you'd like. You can teleport to the Woodcutting Guild using a skills necklace and run to the west, which the, Woodcutting Guild is right here, and you just run to the west. You can also use the boat as well from the mainland. So if you see here, there's a ship to Port Sarum. If you're at Port Sarum, you can just hop on the ship and then you'll just run northwest. Those are the ways to get there. I'm going to go ahead and use the Lookout Teleport, though, using the Xeric's Talisman. And we're going to teleport here, and then again, we're just going to run southwest. And this location over here does also have a lot of Chinchompas or Gray Chinchompas, whatever you want to call them as well. So this is another area that I would recommend. Again, the other area that does exist is the Isle of Soul, but I do not recommend that because it's a giant pain to get there. You got to do a lot of running for no reason, and it's really just honestly annoying. So this is just a way better place in general to snag your Chinchompas. Now, since we are here, the Chinchompas honestly like to hang out up here, so we're going to go ahead and put our box traps down here, and if you do it quick enough and kind of in a rhythm, you don't have to go through the whole process of setting them up, which is really nice, but you can just kind of chill here and catch them. This is another solid spot to catch them. I personally like the Pitoris one better, but here is also another option, because here they like to spread out a little bit, and I'm not really a fan of that, but this is kind of your option. Anyway, that is how you catch Gray Chinchompas for your Hunter Rumor, and just catching them in general. They're decent XP. Again, anytime you can tick manipulate Hunter, it just makes life way easier and way quicker. So again, highly recommend not skipping these if you want the XP. Now, if you're looking just for Hunter Rumors in themselves, skipping them is definitely kind of the strat. Another thing with this is if they don't jump into the trap in time, which you can see it's turning red, but actually they're just hopping in here, the trap will just fall over and you'll just have to reset it. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to hunt Sabre-Toothed Kyatts in Old School RuneScape. For the requirements, you need 55 Hunter, and you will be using Pitfall Trapping for the method. You'll get 300 Hunter XP per catch, which is pretty nice, although not the fastest XP because there's a decent amount of work involved compared to other methods. For their loot table, it is nothing insane. You get Big Bones. Kyat Tooth Chip is what you're looking for your Hunter Rumor, and that is a 1 in 15 drop. Also, Kyat Fur and Tatty Kyat Fur is a common drop, but they're only 200 and 152 GP respectively, so really, you're not going to be making a lot of money from this, so I don't recommend doing this method unless you just want to sit back, relax, and kind of take it easy, because it's nothing too insanely difficult. As far as the equipment goes, I do recommend the Guild Hunter outfit. If you have it, it increases your catch chance and also increases the chance of receiving the Hunter Rare part. So if you're on a Hunter Rumor, highly recommend that if you have it. Otherwise, Graceful is totally fine. You'll also need a teasing stick, a Kandarin headgear if you want to save your time cutting down trees, because it actually gives you 2 logs instead of just 1 log every time you get wood, a knife and an axe, and you can also bring a starter log or 2 if you would like, and a meat pouch if you want to collect the meats. Also recommend bringing teleports to a bank so that way you can quickly get out of the Relica Hunter area, which it is in the Relica hunting area, so I do recommend ferry ring DKS and then running to the west and the north. The Sabre-Toothed Kyatts are up here. You can also get there by using the Fremennig Boots 4 or using the Enchanted Lyre and running to the east and the north, and also the Construction Cape and then running to the east and the north as well. But again, your entire objective is to get up here. Once you have everything that you need and are ready to go, let's go ahead, and I personally am going to use the fairy ring. Again, DKS is your fairy ring, and that'll take you to the Polar Hunter area. And if you are using a fairy ring, again, make sure you bring your Drayman staff, unless you have the Lumbee Elite Diaries done. Once you're here on the mountain, again, run to the west and then run north, and you will follow this little path up to them. If you already have logs, you can go ahead and get started on this method right away. Otherwise, just cut down a tree or 2 up here. You will see that there are dead trees that you can just cut down. Go ahead and run past these Kebbits, and then just keep running, and there's a Kyat, but we're just going to keep running up here, and you will see that there's a bunch of them. Now, here are the pits. Basically, what you're going to do is, if you have a log, go ahead and click on the pit, and you will create this spiked pit. Run over and tease the Sabre-Toothed Kyatt. If you're not quick enough, they will smack you in the face and jump over the spiked pit. Now, they do have a chance to actually miss this, so I do recommend chopping down a few logs just in case that they do end up jumping over, because if they do jump over, you can't use the same trap that you have set up. But as you see, this one fell in, so we're going to go ahead and dismantle, and that is when you get your meat, your bones, and your Kyatt fur potentially. So again, we're going to go ahead and set up another trap, and we're going to go tease another Kyatt here and just try to get them behind you. Don't get stuck on anything. And then just again, jump over the spiked pit, and hopefully he jumps over. He didn't jump over that time. But again, if they jump over, you can't try to jump over the same trap. You have to go use another pit. And I haven't had a case where a Kyatt has jumped over all the pits and I'm out of options. But if that happens, just hop worlds and you'll be good to go. But for example, if this Kyatt did jump over this pit, I would have to use this pit and I could no longer use this one. Even if he jumped over the other one, then I would have to use this pit. And again, when they fall in, go ahead and dismantle. And that's all there is to it. It is literally that easy. And when you run out of logs, you can just chop down any of these trees. And if you're wearing the canter and headgear, you'll get 2 logs and it'll make your life a lot easier. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to hunt Pyre Foxes in Old School RuneScape. For the requirements, you need 57 Hunter, and you'll be using deadfall traps in order to catch them. You get 222 Hunter XP per catch, and your catch chance at level 57 is like 88%, which is pretty high, and already at 100% at level 60 and above, which is absolutely crazy. I'm not 100% sure that other creatures you can actually fail while doing deadfall traps, so maybe that's why they made level 60 at 100% catch rate already, just to kind of combat that, but it's really interesting that they did it that way. Either way, at level 60 and above, you have a 100% chance to catch them, which isn't too bad. As far as their loot table goes, it's nothing too special. You have regular bones, raw Pyre Fox, which you can use for cooking later on, fox fur, which if you bring a thread and a needle, you can actually use 4 fox fur created into a small meat pouch and then high-out it for money. So if you're here for a while, that's something that you can do and just get some crafting XP and high-out and just make things a little bit easier and a little more entertaining while you're there. Also, you have a 1 in 15 chance to get the fox fluff, which is your hunter rumor part that you'll need to complete your hunter rumors. For your equipment, I recommend bringing the guild hunter outfit if you have it, because it increases your catch chance, although if you're level 60 and above, that doesn't matter anyway. But it also increases your chance of receiving the rare part for your hunter rumor. Otherwise, just bring graceful, and again, you're not running around during this method, so if you don't have graceful, it's not too big a deal, don't worry about it. I'd also recommend bringing the canter and headgear if you have it, because every single time you cut down a tree, you get an extra log, and it'll make things a lot easier and a little bit more AFK while you're doing this method. You're also going to need a knife and an axe and maybe a couple starter logs if you wish, so you don't have to cut down a tree when you get there, teleports to the bank, and a meat pouch if you want to collect the meats. As far as location goes, they are found in the Avian Savanna Hunter area. You can use a Fairy Ring AJP and then run west and south a little bit. The Pyre Foxes are right here in this area, so nice and easy to get to, which is always great. You can use a teleport to Civitas Illifortis and run south and then run west. You can also take a charter ship to the Sunset Coast and then run to the east. You can also use your Quetzal Whistle and get to the Hunters Guild and then run southeast. Those are the easiest ways to get there. I'm just going to go ahead and use the Fairy Ring because that's nice and easy. As a reminder, as always, if you are using the Fairy Ring method, make sure to bring your Drayman staff if you don't have the Lumbridge Elite Diaries done. Again, Fairy Ring code AJP, and that'll take you right to the Savannah. And then we're going to run to the west and to the east, and you can already see them on my screen. They are right here. And for this one, there's a couple different ones that you can do. I like this one over here personally, because while you're using this one, you have access to all these trees over here, and it makes it nice and easy. So once you get here, just go ahead and click on these boulders, and you can only have 1 deadfall trap at a time, which is tragic, but you can just go ahead, click on a boulder, you're good to go. Throw on your canter and headgear and go chop down some trees so that you can get enough logs to just go kind of hang out there while the Pyre Foxes are running into your deadfall trap, just like that, right on cue. Well done. So once they fall in, make sure you go check the boulder, and then you'll get all your items, and you can go ahead and set another trap, and you are good to go. As you can see, we did get the Pyre Fox meat and our fox fur and our bones. Again, with bones, you can either drop them or bury them just for that little bit of prayer XP. Every little bit helps, right? Or maybe that's the Iron Man mentality. And again, there's another Pyre Fox, and it's literally that easy. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to hunt Dark Kebbit in Old School RuneScape. For the requirements, you need 57 Hunter, and you can catch them by falconry. You get 132 XP per catch, and as far as the loot table goes, you will always receive bones, dark Kebbit fur, both of which aren't super necessary to pick up. They're both not very expensive, and the Kebbity Tuft at a 1 in 10, and the Kebbity Tuft is what you need to complete your Hunter Rumor. As far as the catch chance goes, at level 57, when you can start hunting these, you have about a 57% chance to catch them, and all the way at 99, you don't quite have a 100% chance to catch them, but it looks to be between 97 and 99% up there, so still not horrible at level 99. Kind of curious how they just didn't be like, all right, let's move that up a few ticks and then make it 100%, but it's, you know, Jagex doing Jagex things, it's fine. As far as equipment goes, you need a 500 GP to get the Falcon. However, you can make a 500k investment to Matthias, who gives you the Falcon, and if you pay that 500k, it'll be free for the rest of time, but that requires about 1,000 times to do falconry, and I just paid it personally on my Iron Man because I kept forgetting coins and I was annoyed going back and forth, but that is totally up to you on whether you want to pay that. If you're not going to be doing falconry very often, then I would just go ahead and just keep paying the 500 GP. Honestly, the 500k investment was kind of stupid, but I just did it because, again, I got annoyed running back and forth for my 500 GP that I forgot. Also recommended that you wear the Guild Hunter outfit. However, it's not really super necessary. It does increase the catch chance and the chance of receiving a rare part, but because this is a 1 in 10 drop chance on the rare part, it's not really needed. But definitely if you have it, you might as well bring it along, because why not? Otherwise, just wear Graceful if you have it. The other thing you should bring are teleports to a bank or teleports to get out of the falconry area and move on to your next thing. For those of you guys that don't know, falconry is in the Piscatoris Hunter area. It's on the east side here, right here where this hunter symbol is. The ways you can get here is AKQ using a fairy ring, and then you're just going to go ahead and run to the east. You can also use the Piscatoris teleport and run southeast. Other ways are the Tree Gnome Stronghold, and then you'll want to run south, and then west, and then north, or you can run from Ardoin. You'll just need to run quite a ways to the west, and then run north, and it will be on the right-hand side. And with that, we're going to go ahead and use the fairy ring AKQ in order to get there. Again, if you're using the fairy ring, make sure you bring your Drayman staff unless you have the Lumbee Elite Diaries done, because then you won't need one. But we're going to go ahead and use that fairy ring, and then we're going to go run to the east. And if you just run to the east, you can see where this little house is, and this house is where the falconry area is. In order to get to the falconry area, you're going to have to run to the north side of this fence, and you will see a stile. Go ahead and climb that. It is right here. The other thing I did want to mention is that you do need to have your hands free, and you can't be wearing any weapons or anything like that. Please, all right, what do we need? We need a square sandwich. Square sandwich, give me the baguette. Jagex hates me. You need to have your glove slot free. You can't have any weapons or can't be holding anything or anything like that. So make sure you take off your gloves, otherwise he won't let you have the Falcon. Once you get here, find Matthias and you can right-click Quick Falcon. You also may need to talk to him for the first time that you're here, but if you have actually been here before, then you can just go ahead and right-click Quick Falcon. And once you do that, he will give you a Falcon, which should have been the hunter pet, but that is neither here nor there. All right, so once you have the Falcon, go ahead and run to the south, and you will actually see them over here to the southwest. There's actually 2 spawns right here, so I highly recommend that you use these 2 spawns. So go ahead, and all you need to do is click on them with your Falcon, and you will catch them. Sometimes they'll run away, and you can just go retrieve, and then you want to try to catch this one by the time the other one respawns. As you see, the other one respawns, and you just kind of want to go back and forth in between these 2 spots. Sometimes your Falcon will miss. That's what it looks like. The objective, and sometimes it runs away, the objective is to try to find those 2 spots, and they could be, you know, there's another one over here. There might be multiple spots. There's one up here to the east, but basically you just want to find those 2 spots and just kind of go back and forth in between them. But again, you'll just want to grab your Falcon, click on them, and just kind of go back and forth once you find those spawn points, because once you find those spawn points, it'll speed things up dramatically. That said, again, this is a 1 in 10 chance for your hunter rumor part, so you may not even have to go that in depth, but if you're doing this for some nice hunter gains, you can just keep going back and forth between those 2 spots, and it makes things really easy, and you don't have to run around with your head cut off. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to hunt red salamanders in old school RuneScape. For the requirements, you will need 59 hunter. You will get 272 XP per catch, which is pretty solid, and they use net traps. As far as the loot table goes, there is not much to it at all. You have the red salamander, which you always get if you catch them. Obviously, they're not really worth keeping. They're only 51 GP each. They do also drop a red salamander claw if you are on a hunter rumor test for red salamanders, and that is a 1 in 25 chance. As far as the catch table goes, at level 59, you're going to be catching these at a rate of about 55%. However, at 99, that goes all the way up to like 94, 95%. So still not at that 100% window, but at that point, you're basically at 100%. Overall, with the amount of XP that you get for red salamanders, it's really not that bad of a hunting method in general. For the equipment, make sure you bring your Guild Hunter outfit if you have it. It increases the catch chance as well as increases the chance of receiving the rare part for your hunter rumor, which will make that 1 in 25 just a little bit less, which is always nice. Otherwise, bring Graceful if you have it and teleports to the bank. Also, make sure that you have enough net and rope for the number of traps that you can lay. For example, at level 59 when you start, you can bring 3 net traps. So make sure you have 3 small fishing nets and 3 ropes in your inventory if you're level 59. Once you reach 60, you can bring up to 4 traps at a time, and level 80, you can bring 5 traps at a time. Make sure that you are bringing the amount of traps that you can actually lay down. That said, the spot I'm going to show you only has 4 spots to lay down, so keep that in mind. You may not need that extra rope if you want. I personally can bring 5, but I'm bringing 4 because I'm an Iron Man and I can't be asked to get another rope, to be honest. Iron Man struggles out here. As far as the location, there is about 6,000 ways to get here, so I'm only going to cover a few. The best way to get here is the Orania teleport. If you are on the Lunar Spellbook, it also requires 71 magic, but it literally puts you right where you need to be. Another method is the Ardoin Monastery. You can use your Ardoin cloak if you have one, and then you're gonna just basically straight send it to the west. You can also use dueling rings and run to the north, and you can get there as well. You can also use the Ardoin teleport and run south and then west. You can use Yanil teleport and you'll want to run west and then north. You can also use Fairy Ring DJP and run to the west. Again, there's literally like 50 ways to get here, so those are the ones that I recommend. Yes, in the comment section you guys will probably give me more, because that's normally what happens when I don't mention one that you guys use, but that's totally fine. Enlighten us, it's always good. Personally, I'm going to go ahead and use the dueling ring at Castle Wars. We're going to go ahead and run over here to the Ornate Jewelry box, and we are going to go to Castle Wars. And again, for Castle Wars, we're basically just going to run straight north, and this is where the Graceful comes into handy. Because really, you don't run around too much when you're doing this, so Graceful isn't 100% necessary, although I do recommend it anyway because it's just Graceful and that's normally what you wear. But we're going to go ahead and run north and run all the way to where we need to go. We're going to go over all these bridges, and then we're going to go over to the east a little bit, because this is where the observatory is for those of you guys that really enjoy your shooting stars. And you're just going to keep running north and running more north, and then that is where we're actually going to. That is where the ZMI altar is, and that is where we're going to. So we're just going to keep on running, and there is the young trees where we're going to lay our traps. There's also some more traps here on the other side if you want to use those as well. There's one right here and one right here. Personally, I just use these up here because it's normally a lot easier to get here. And I'm going to go ahead and be nice, even though this dude looks like he's AFK. I'm going to go ahead and switch worlds, and hopefully we'll find one. Although, again, to be fair, he was AFK. I probably could have taken it, but I'm not that guy. I like to switch worlds. I don't like to be the one that steals other people's spot. As you can see, there are 4 different young trees here. All you need to do is run up and set the traps. And what I like to do is just go from one side to the other because, for example, the orange salamanders all get caught in like a rotation. I don't know if that's necessarily how the red salamanders work, but that's just how I do it. Again, if you have the ability to lay 4 traps, go ahead and lay them down. And it does look like indeed that is how it works. And then when they get caught, they're going to get balled up, and go ahead and snag them and then go ahead and set them down. So when you don't catch them, it will leave your net and rope on the ground. So just make sure that that doesn't despawn, so then you don't have to run back to the bank and struggle through that. But other than that, that's literally all there is to it. I'm going to go ahead and snag all this stuff because all the Hunter XP is good XP, because personally not a giant fan of Hunter. Now Herbiboar, fun. Other Hunter, not so much. And there's a good example. So right there, the red salamander outsmarted my trap, and it just dropped the net and the rope on the ground. And that is all there is to red salamanders and hunting them. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to hunt Carnivorous Chinchompas, aka red Chinchompas, in Old School RuneScape. For the requirements, you need 63 Hunter, and you get 265 Hunter XP per catch. As far as their loot table goes, it's very easy. You just get the red Chinchompas, and you have a 1 in 50 chance of getting the red Chinchompa Tuft, which is what you need to complete your Hunter Room. As far as the catch chance goes, it's starting at level 63, you have about a 45% chance to catch the red Chinchompas, and then at 96, you have a 90% chance. So towards the higher end of Hunter, you have a pretty good chance of getting these almost every single time. As far as the equipment goes, I recommend that you have the Guild Hunter outfit, which increases your catch chance, as well as increases the chance of receiving your Hunter Rumor part if you're on a Hunter Rumor. Otherwise, feel free to wear Graceful or honestly anything else, because once you get here, you're not really running around with your head cut off too much, so Graceful, but really you can Fashionscape if you want to. Also recommend teleports to a bank to teleport out of these locations. As far as the number of traps you can lay, bring as many traps as you can as far as box traps. So at level 60 you can place 4 traps, and at level 80 you can place 5 traps. Now there's a few different locations that you can catch the red Chinchompas. 2 of those are in Feldip Hills. One is in the outer lands of Feldip Hills, so there's a spot right here, there's a location here, and then there's a couple other locations over here. However, there is a red Chinchompa hunting ground, which you can access if you have finished the Western Hard Diaries. And that is a fantastic location because it has a lot of red Chinchompas down there, and it just makes life a lot easier. There's also another place that is northeast of Prif, which I will also show you once I am done with the Feldip Hills location. For the Feldip Hills location, you can use a Feldip Hills teleport if you would like, and then you can run over to the east, or run over to the southwest, or if you're going into the red Chinchompa hunting ground, you can run southwest to this dungeon icon. You can also use Fairy Ring AKS and then run southwest. You can also teleport to the Myths Guild and then run northeast. You can go to Corsair Cove and run northwest. There's a lot of different ways to get here, but those are the main ways to get here that I recommend. Before we get started, I also wanted to call out that, as you see, I do have a Pestle and Mortar, and I have 5 Grimy Guam leaves with me, as well as 1 Clean Guam and some Swamp Tar. You'll need this if you're doing a 3-tick method or a 1-tick method, which I will go into more detail in another video, but just so you know, that's why my inventory looks how it is. And then I have the 5 box traps with me. So we're going to go ahead and teleport to AKS. And remember, if you do not have your Lumbee Elite Diaries done, make sure that you bring your Drayman Staff. So we're going to go ahead and teleport to AKS. I'm going to show you guys the location of the outer Chinchompas, which actually you can see somebody is already here chilling. Just a little bit south of the Fairy Ring, you can see that he is setting up all of these for red Chinchompas, so that's kind of nice, but that's going to be kind of your first area here. He's got a little bit of Fashionscape, I respect that. The red Chinchompas are just kind of running around, and as you see, there's not a bunch of them. You'll see when we go to the next area, there's going to be a lot. So that is your first spot. Here is the second spot, and down here is another person. Wow, you guys, I picked a great world for this. This is fantastic. Another person is going and catching red Chinchompas here. Again, you can see that there's like 3 or 4 Chinchompas there. But if you keep running southwest, you'll notice that there's this cave here. And once you get to the cave, go ahead and enter inside. Remember that this is for the Western Hard Diaries and more completed. So if you have the Western Hard Diaries done, you get access to this. And as you can see, there is a bunch of red Chinchompas. Now, I do want to show you guys how to do this. So once you get here, I just like to go in the middle of the room, and we're going to make a box for those of you guys that can only have 4 down at a time. So we're going to go ahead and put a box down, and then we're going to run over 2 squares and put another box down, and then we're going to go south 2 squares and put a box down, and then we're going to run to the west 2 squares and put a box down, and you'll see that there's kind of this square. Now they're going to run in and get caught, so as soon as they get caught, go ahead and click check on the shaking box, stand over the same spot, and click lay trap. The other option you have is if you right click, you can actually reset, and this is actually going to be used for 3-ticking as well. So the way you 3-tick is basically you're going to right click reset, and as soon as the box goes away, you're going to want to use your Guam on the Swamp Tar, and you'll see how quickly it was to set down. So I'm going to show you, if you just right click reset, how slow this is, and then over here I'll show you how to 3-tick and how much quicker it speeds it up. So that took pretty long, right? So we're going to go ahead and right-click reset, get our Guam ready. As soon as it disappears, boom, we're going to use the Guam on it, and boom, it's just instantly set up. It's real quick, you get in a nice rhythm, and you're good to go. For those of you guys, and I'm going to mess up at some point because I'm sitting here talking, right? For those of you guys that have 5 traps, the other place that you want to put the traps, you're just going to put it right in the middle, and you'll see it just kind of covers all the area. And this is the most efficient way to lay your traps down. And again, if you're 3-ticking, you basically just kind of go back and forth, and as soon as everything is good, you are good to go. There's also 1-ticking method, which I haven't quite mastered yet, but that is another thing. Again, this isn't really a deep dive video on tick manipulation, so that is just kind of how I do it. There's a few different ways to do it. If you're on Runelite, you can use the menu entry swapper to swap your left click with reset, and it really speeds things up a little bit. So I highly recommend if you are on Runelite to use that. That is how you catch red Chinchompas. The other thing I wanted to show you is Priff. So we're going to go ahead and use our teleport crystal to Priff. For those of you guys that are like me, you didn't finish your diaries before you actually unlocked Priff. So there's a hunting area that is northeast of Priff right here. So as you can see, we're just going to run north, and when you teleport here, it is literally going to be straight north from this tree. It's going to be north of the bank. You're just going to keep running straight north out the city gates. And once you are out of the city gates, you're going to go ahead and run a little bit more north, and then there's this little pathway, and you can just run to the east. Also, I do want to call out that how I showed you how to catch the Chinchompas in the private area or the diary area is actually the same method that you would use for the outer lands as well. So as you can see, this person is actually using the spot, but this is where I did a lot of my hunter when I didn't have access to the Western diaries. I just wanted to show you guys that location, so if you don't have those diaries done yet and you have Priff unlocked, this is the more efficient way. If you don't have the diaries unlocked, you saw the very first way we did outside of the fairy ring, and if you do have the diaries unlocked, I believe it's still the fastest to do them down with the diary location. And that is all there is for red Chinchompas. They are a solid way to make money and pretty great hunter XP, especially if you like tick manipulation. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to hunt Sunlight Moths in Old School RuneScape. The requirements to hunt them are 65 hunter with a butterfly net or magic butterfly net, or 75 hunter if you want to catch them barehanded. And you get 74 hunter XP per catch, and their loot table, there's really not much to it. There's the Sunlight Moth item, that is if you have butterfly jars in your inventory, or you have a 1 in 75 chance at getting a Sunlight Moth wing. So hopefully you have blocked these from your hunter rumor task, but if you haven't, those are the odds. So definitely also want to be wearing the hunter outfit if you are able to wear it. As far as the catch chance goes, they are pretty decently high though. At level 65, you're able to get about a 78 or 79% chance of catching them if you have your butterfly net. If you have a magical butterfly net, you can't catch them barehanded until 75, which will give you about a 96% chance to catch them. But if you're using a magic butterfly net at level 65, you're going to have about a 86% chance to catch them, and at level 85 you are going to max out with a regular butterfly net and catch them 100% of the time. And if you have a magic butterfly net or catch them barehanded at 78, you will catch them 100% of the time, which is the route you should go anyway, and you shouldn't be using a butterfly net after 75 because it really boosts your chance of catching them. As far as equipment goes, I recommend the Guild Hunter outfit if you have it, because it increases your catch chance, but it also increases the chance of getting the hunter rumor part that you are looking for. And in this case, at a 1 in 75, that's going to be a big difference, so highly recommend that. Otherwise, Graceful, because you're going to be running around with your head cut off, and Super Energy Potions or Staminas if you want, but definitely not required, especially if you are bringing butterfly jars in your inventory. I also recommend having a teleport to the bank so that you can get out of here. Also, a butterfly net if you do not have a high enough hunter level to catch them barehanded, and butterfly jars again if you want to catch them, but it's not required in order to get your hunter rumor part, so definitely don't think that it's required in any way, but just throwing that out there if that's something you would like to do to use their boost for later. And their boost restores 6 plus 20% of a player's reduced stats, excluding prayer, and it also heals you 8 hit points. As far as the location goes, they are found right south and north of the Hunters Guild, right here, as well as right here north of the Hunters Guild. So those are kind of the two places. They are also found in the Perilous Moons dungeon, but there's only 4 of them, so it's not really worth it. There's a stupid amount flying around out here by the Hunters Guild, so just recommend doing that. The ways to get there are you can use the Fairy Ring AJP and run to the west. You can also use the Quetzal Whistle and teleport to the Hunters Guild and run south. You can also get a charter ship to the Sunset Coast and run to the east and then north. You can also teleport to Civitas Fortis, and then you're going to want to run south and then west. Those are basically the ways to get there. I personally am just going to use the Quetzal Whistle so I can just basically get there right away. So we're going to go ahead and use that. Again, don't forget your butterfly net if you have one. I am wearing it, but I'm going to take it off for the better rates. I also want to remind you that if you are using the Fairy Ring, make sure you bring a Drayman Staff unless you have the Lumbee Elite Diaries done. We're going to go ahead and use our Quetzal Whistle, which I guess I didn't even test to see if you could use it in your house. Oh, you can. Nailed it. The more you know. All right, so once you're here, like I said, just go ahead and run south and you will see them flying all over the place. So just keep running south here. And there they are. They're kind of hard to see because they're so tiny, but they're these little guys right here. All you need to do is just run over and catch them, and that is literally it. Again, when you catch them, they do restore some of your stats and give you more HP. And if you catch them with butterfly jars, you can literally use that anytime you want to, but don't recommend catching them with butterfly jars unless you're an Iron Man that you want them for some reason. There could be some really weird meta that I don't know about, but you can see there are so many of them around. You're just going to run around and just catch them. That's literally all there is to it. It is that easy. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to hunt dashing Kebbits in Old School RuneScape. For the requirements, you need 69 Hunter, and you're going to catch them using Falconry. You get 156 XP per catch, and their catch chance isn't terrible, but it's not great either. So at level 69, you're going to have about a 56% chance to catch them, and at 99, you're going to have about an 80% chance to catch them. So the catch chance isn't too crazy, and what's kind of interesting is normally at 99 you almost have 100% chance to catch most things, and you just don't with dashing Kebbits. So that's kind of interesting, but it's also through falconry, so the training method itself isn't really that bad anyway. As far as the loot table goes, nothing too impressive. You have boned dashing Kebbit fur and raw dashing Kebbit, and the Kebbity tuft is a 1 in 10. This is why people love falconry for their hunter rumors, because normally it's a very high chance to get whatever hunter rumor part you're looking for, and in this case the Kebbity tuft 1 in 10. Other than that, really nothing super great from this drop table. I mean, I guess the raw dashing Kebbit, if that's something that you want to pick up with your meat pouch and just kind of keep using, but also the dashing Kebbit fur is actually used for the spotted cape, so that's just kind of one of the uses for that. But if you're main, you can just go buy that and not have to worry about it. As far as the equipment goes and what you need to bring, 500 GP in order to get a Falcon. However, you can make a one-time investment of 500k to Matthias, and that's not really worth it unless you're doing falconry 1,000 times. But if you're somebody like me that keeps forgetting their 500 GP in their inventory to bring it with them, definitely an option. I went ahead and did it because I spent a lot of times getting there, and next thing you know, I don't have my 500k. Also recommended that you wear the Guild Hunter outfit if you have it. It increases the catch chance as well as the chance to get your Hunter Rumor part. So nothing too crazy as far as the Hunter Rumor part goes on this task, because the Kebbity tuft is actually really easy to get. Otherwise, just bring Graceful. However, the glove slot will need to be free, but you can just bring your Graceful gloves and take them off right before you get the Falcon. Also recommended to bring teleports to the bank. Now, there's a few different ways to get here. The Falcon location is right here on the right-hand side of the Piscatorus Hunter area. So you can use your Piscatorus teleport and run southeast, or you could teleport to Fairy Ring AKQ and run to the east. You can use your Western Banner 4 if you have your Elite Western Province Diaries done. You can also teleport to the Tree Gnome Stronghold and run south and then run west and then north, or you can teleport to Artie and then run north and then west and then north again. But those are a few ways to get to the Hunter area itself. And without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and use Fairy Ring AKQ. If you are using a Fairy Ring and don't have your Elite Lumbee Diaries done, make sure you bring your Drayman Staff. And once you get to the Fairy Ring, again, we are just going to want to run to the east. And we are running to this building right here. This is where the falconry area is. And the way to get into the falconry area is you're going to have to run over here and you'll see the stile. You can go ahead and climb over the stile right here. And again, once you're here, make sure you don't have any weapons or any gloves on, otherwise you're unable to get a falcon. For the first time, I think you may have to talk to Matthias in order to get your falcon, but you may also have this quick falcon option. So if you have that option, go ahead and right click. If not, go ahead and talk to him. And as you'll see, we have the falcon, which should be the hunter pet, but that's neither here nor there. Please, Jagex, one day give us what we all want. As far as the dashing Kebbits go, the place that I like to go is to the south, and you'll see that there's two of them running around right here. They are the lighter colored Kebbits. So when you're ready, just go ahead and click on them, and your falcon will go out and hopefully catch them. Sometimes it's gonna miss, and when they get caught, your falcon will be basically sitting on them and you're just able to go retrieve it. Again, same thing, just go ahead, use your falcon. It's really great to figure out where they respawn and just kind of chill here. So even though there's two spots, if you don't want to try too hard, you could run back and forth between the two, but I just recommend finding a spot where they spawn because it's super chill, and then you can basically just sit here. One, it's not far away, you're not chasing the Kebbits. It just makes everything way easier, and the XP just isn't as annoying to get. As you notice, I'm only running like 2 squares. It's phenomenal. But anyway, that is all there is to catching dashing Kebbit. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on hunting sunlight antelopes in old school RuneScape. For the requirements, you need 72 hunter, and you will be using the pitfall trapping hunter method. You get 380 experience per catch, which is pretty phenomenal. And here is their loot table. You get big bones, sunlight antelope antlers, and you can use that to fletch into the hunter sunlight crossbow as well as into some ammo for that crossbow. You also get sunlight antelope fur, which is used to make some different armor. You also get raw sunlight antelope meats, so make sure you bring your meat pouch. You also get Sunfire Splinters, which is really nice for an Iron Man and just really nice in general. They stack, and there's some solid passive money if you're a main account, but you can also use them in your wines in order to get more XP when you're doing the Varlamore Prayer method. And you have a 1 in 15 chance of getting the Antelope Hoof Shard, which is for your Hunter Rumor. So at a 1 in 15, that's really not too bad. And if you go dry, you're still getting Sunfire Splinters and everything else, and it just, I don't know, it's really nice. It's a really good hunting method, in my opinion, especially if you enjoy pitfall hunting. As far as the equipment goes, I highly recommend having the Guild Hunter outfit. It increases your catch chance as well as increases the chance of receiving that rare part for your Hunter Rumor. Otherwise, just use Graceful if you have it, because you will be running around a little bit during this method. You'll also need a teasing stick. Recommend it teleports to a bank, candor, and headgear if you have it, so you can get extra logs, so you don't have to worry about only getting 1 log. You can get 2 logs. Makes this a little bit easier. A knife, an axe, and you can also bring starting logs if you would like to. I'm going to bring starting willow logs so I can show you how to do it, and then I'll show you getting extra logs, and then a meat pouch if you want to collect the meats. As far as the location goes, they are on Varlamore in the Avium Savannah, and they are right over here where my mouse is. The different ways that you can get there is you can use Fairy Ring AJP and run over to the east. You can go to the Civitas Illifortis teleport and run south and then east a little bit. You can also take a charter ship and run to the east and a little bit north, but I don't recommend that because that's pretty far away. You can also just teleport to the Hunters Guild and run to the east and south a little bit. But personally, I'm going to be using the Fairy Ring to show you guys this method. So when you guys are ready, make sure that you go to your Fairy Ring, and if you don't have the Lumpy Elite Diaries done, make sure that you bring your Draymond Staff. Again, Avium Savannah is AJP, so we're going to go ahead and go there. And once again, we are going to run east to the antelopes from the Fairy Ring. So just keep running east and eventually you will see them. It's basically a straight shot from the Fairy Ring. You really can't miss it. All right, and it looks like somebody is already here, so I'm actually going to hop worlds because I don't want to disturb their gains. All right, we are at a world that doesn't have anybody here, and there are the Sunlight Antelopes. You'll see that there's these pits all over the place. You're going to go ahead and click on the pit, assuming that you have logs and a knife in your inventory, and then you're going to run and poke the Sunlight Antelopes and jump over the spiked pit. Hopefully they fall in. I'm not 100% sure if this is a 100% chance to. I don't believe it is, but in case it isn't, if for some reason an antelope jumps over the pit, you cannot use that same pit to catch that antelope. So for example, if this antelope did not fall into this pit, I could no longer use this pit and I would have to use any of these other pits around. And you would just have to keep doing that until they eventually fall in the pit. Not 100% sure if they can actually miss all 5 of these. That would be kind of crazy, but maybe. Once they fall in the pit though, you can go ahead and click dismantle, and that will actually give you your hunter XP and everything that you saw from the loot table. Now, in order to get your logs, go ahead and throw on your gear and cut down the trees. If you don't have the Kindred gear, no worries. Just bring a few more logs because it'll be easier for you in the long run. But if you have the Kindred gear, you can just go ahead and cut these trees down. And then you're going to run over here and do the same exact thing. Go ahead and click on the pit, and then you're going to get the attention of a Moonlight Antelope. And then run up here, jump over, and hopefully they fall in. That is literally the method. It is that easy. Again, the XP is kind of phenomenal, 380. It's not too insane and click intensive for a method. And you get really good meats for your Quetzal Whistle, or you can just cook it in general. You can get your Sunlight crossbow, you can get ammo for it. There's just a lot of great things. The Sunfire splinters, everything is just kind of nice here in that you get. But that is all there is to the method. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to hunt Moonlight Moths in Old School RuneScape. For the requirements, you need 75 Hunter in order to catch these with a butterfly net, and you need 85 Hunter in order to catch them bare-handed. You get 84 Hunter XP per catch, and their loot table isn't much at all. Their loot table is literally the Moonlight Moths in a jar, if that is something you're interested in, filling your inventory up with jars and catching them, or you have a 1 in 75 chance of catching the Moonlight Moth wing. Now, the wing itself is something that you're going to be needing for your Hunter Rumors if you are on a Hunter Rumor task. So at 1 in 75, if there's a way to block these, definitely need to make sure that you do that if you're trying to be efficient with Hunter Rumors. As far as the catch chance goes, as you can see at level 75, you're going to have about an 82-83% chance in order to catch these, and at level 92, you're going to have a 100% chance to catch these with a butterfly net. With a magic butterfly net at level 75, you have about an 87% chance to catch them, and at 88, you have a 100% chance to catch them. Also, at level 85, again, you can start catching them bare-handed, and at 85, you have about a 96% chance to catch them, and again, with the magic butterfly net at 88, you have a 100% chance to catch them. As far as the equipment goes, I do recommend having the Guild Hunter outfit because it will increase your catch chance, but also that 1 in 75 chance for your Hunter part will go down because the outfit increases your chance to get the Hunter Rumor part, and again, at a 1 in 75, it'll make life a little bit easier and a lot less annoying if you can catch them quicker. Otherwise, Graceful works just fine because you will be running around with your heads cut off, and it's totally up to you if you want to bring staminas or super energies, but not really worth it unless for some reason you really want to just sit here and camp these, which I don't know why you would. Teleports back to the bank is also recommended. A butterfly net or a magic butterfly net if you're level 75. At level 85, you don't have to worry about bringing your net. Also, butterfly jars if you do want to catch them. They do kind of have a really cool release mechanic where you open a jar and the jar will restore 22 prayer points to you and 3 other people around you. So that's really cool. I don't know the radius where the people around you have to be, but that's pretty cool because it kind of acts like a mini terrible prayer potion, but it's also kind of cool if you're in like a raid or something like that, you pop one, everybody gets some prayer back. Kind of cool. So they are located in the dungeon of the Hunters Guild. They're also located in Nepatzli. I probably butchered that, but that is where the Perilous Moon's bosses are. So I'm going to show you guys both locations in this video. First off, we're going to show you the Hunter Guild location. There's a few different ways to get to the Hunter Guild. You can use Fairy Ring AJP and run to the west and then go north, and the Hunter Guild is right here. You can also take a charter ship and then run northeast. You can also use a Quetzal to get there as well, or a Quetzal Whistle. Those are kind of the ways that I recommend getting here, although you can also teleport to Civitas Elefortis if you want, and take that Quetzal over. So we're going to go ahead and just use the Quetzal Whistle personally, because why not? It's the quickest way to get there. So we're going to go ahead and pop that, boom, bird. And it takes us right here to the Hunter Guild. So we're just going to go ahead and run over to the west and go down the stairs. Again, you can go ahead and fill your inventory up with butterfly jars if that is something you are interested in. I personally am not interested in that, so I am not going to fill up my inventory. That said, all you need to do after this is just go run over to the west, and then you're going to run south. And as you guys can see, they are pretty plentiful down here. There's not as much as by the Perilous Moon bosses, but you can see there's little blue butterflies flying around. That is them, so go ahead and just start catching them. Again, they do restore 22 prayer for yourself, but The main key is kind of trying to figure out where they spawn, and then when you figure out where they spawn, you can just kind of spam and just kind of wait for them to spawn, and you're good to go. The other location, again, is at Perilous Moon, so I'm going to go ahead and use a calcified moth to get there. There's a few different other ways that you can use to get there as well. You can also use the Quetzal to run up to Rald's Rise if you want, and use the 47 agility rocks to go to the south, and then you're going to go to the west and then north, and you're going to go to Kamtorum. The other thing you can do is just kind of make your way over here by running from any point on Varlamore over to the west, or you can just use your calcified moth, and honestly that's the strat if you have those, because it makes it really nice because it teleports you right to Kamtorum. So once you get to Kamtorum, you're going to have to run to the north, and you're going to have to go through these doors right here to basically go fight the moon bosses. But you're not going to be fighting the moon bosses, you just need to get to the areas before the moon bosses so that you can go hunt them. And they are in all of the chambers for the bosses. So for example, I am just going to run up here to the northwest. And once you run up here to the northwest, you're going to go ahead and use the entrance. And in this entrance, they are down. It wouldn't let me move there for a second. But in this entrance, you're going to basically find them kind of scattered all around. As you can see, they're kind of down in the fishing area spots. So we're just going to go ahead and run down there real quick. So just go ahead and follow this path around until you see the stairs. And just keep running past the wormlings. And I mean, they are up here if you want to catch them up here, but they're just more annoying because there's more things to click on. So I'm not really a fan of catching them up here personally if you're going to catch them. But down here, you will see that they are kind of scattered around. So there's one, there's another one. They're just kind of all scattered around. And again, it's like this in all the different areas, and there are a bunch of them, and they just keep spawning. So you can just keep running around and catching them here. But again, they are literally in all of these different chambers for the bosses. Now, some people might like the Hunter Guild better. That is totally up to you. Some people like here better. It honestly just depends on what kind of atmosphere you want to catch things at. With that said, that is my quick guide to catching the Moonlight Moths. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to hunt Tecu Salamanders in Old School RuneScape. As far as the requirements go, you need 79 Hunter in order to catch them, and you get 344 Hunter XP per catch. You're also going to be using net traps. As far as the loot table goes, they don't have too much on their loot table. They have immature Tecu Salamanders, which are basically worthless as far as I'm aware. And then they have the regular Tecu Salamander, which is a 1 in 1,000 drop. And honestly, it's not bad. 524k for just a little bit of Hunter. Obviously, you can do better with chins and things like that, but always good for net traps and just kind of get things that actually matter a little bit. And you might be able to sell, but it's also a decent weapon, to be honest, as far as salamanders go at least. You also have a 1 in 25 chance of getting the Salamander Claw. And as far as Hunter Rumor parts go, that's really not too bad, 1 in 25. As far as the catch chance goes, as you can see at level 79, you only have about a 67% chance to actually successfully catch these. And again, at level 99, you only have a 82-83% chance to catch them, which again, at 99, you think you would just be able to catch everything, but maybe since this has a 1 in 1k drop that they're like, nope, we're not going to do that 100% of the time. So you're not going to catch them 100% of the time. Actually, you're not even going to catch them above 90% of the time, which is kind of crazy. As far as the equipment goes, I recommend having the Guild Hunter outfit because it will increase your catch chance and also increase the chance of getting the Hunter Rumor rare part as well. So if you are on a Hunter Rumor, highly recommend wearing the outfit if you have it. Otherwise, Graceful will do, but honestly, you're not going to be running around with your head cut off, so if you want to fashionscape, feel free to fashionscape. Also recommend having teleports to the bank so that you can get out of there, but you're halfway close to a bank, so you don't necessarily need that. Also make sure to bring enough net and rope in order to be at max efficiency for how many traps that you can lay. At level 60, you can lay down 4 traps. At level 80, you can lay down 5 traps. Personally, I only have 4 net and rope, and I can't be asked to go get more for these videos, so we're still struggling over here on the iron and too lazy to go to a general store and get more rope. As far as the locations go for these salamanders, they are over here by Rald's Rise. There's a couple ways to get here. You can take the Quetzal over to Rald's Rise and run south if you have 47 agility, and then there's just going to be the area right over here if you just keep running more south. You can also use a Quetzal to get there if you have built the Quetzal at Kamtorum. That's another option that you can do. You can also use the Quetzal Whistle if you want, and that'll take you to the Hunter Guild, so they'll just run northwest. You can also use the Quetzal at the Hunting Guild if you don't have access to the Kamtorum Quetzal, or you don't have 47 agility to get down to the mountain, totally acceptable. Otherwise, you can teleport to Civitas Illa Fortis and then take the Quetzal over. There's a lot of different ways that you can kind of get here, but your main objective is just getting to this hunter area right there. I personally am going to go ahead and use my Quetzal whistle so that I can go to the Hunter Guild, which is right next to a Quetzal, and then we're going to take the Quetzal over to Camtorum. And then once you're at Camtorum, me personally, I'm just going to go ahead and run to the east because they are literally right here. Again, hopefully you have 5 nets and rope, but I personally don't. And here are the traps. It's just like all the other salamanders. You're going to go ahead and lay down the traps. I'm glad my squirrel finally caught back up. Congrats, squirrel, way to go. And once you're done laying down all the traps, you just want to make sure that when they break that you go ahead and run over and pick up your traps, because they will break and the items will disappear. Otherwise, you're going to see that they do actually end up getting caught. And again, the cool thing is they kind of most of the time go in the order that you lay them down, but not always. But it's always nice to see them go in that order. And we're looking like we have good luck. It'd be really cool if we can get a 1 and a K, but as you see, they did broke and the net and rope did fall. So again, make sure you go ahead and pick those up and just keep placing down your nets and rope. And again, just to kind of be efficient, you want to make sure you have all 5 if you have access to that, and don't be like me and be lazy and too lazy to go get rope. But that is literally all there is to getting the Tecu Salamanders. Again, you have that nice 1 and a K drop. Otherwise, these immature Tecu Salamanders are basically worthless, but it's also nice to see a giant 344 XP drop in general. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on one of my favorite hunting methods, hunting Herbiboar in Old School RuneScape. As far as the requirements go, you need to complete the Bon Voyage quest in order to get access to Fossil Island. You also need 80 Hunter, and if you're going to harvest Herbiboar, you need 31 Herbiboar. This is a tracking method, but the Ring of Pursuit does not work, so make sure you're not bringing it and expecting that to work. You'll get 1,950 XP at level 80 and 2,461 XP at level 99 for Hunter XP per catch, and it does scale, so that's why there's kind of that little range that you have there. As far as equipment goes, you can bring and wear your Guild Hunter outfit. However, I don't really recommend it because the outfit increases catch chance as well as your chance of receiving the rare part. And as far as the rare part goes, here is the drop table for Herbiboar. You'll see that the rare part is 1 in 7, so that little 2.5% I believe that the outfit isn't really worth it in this scenario because it's already 1 in 7, and also Herbiboar is really great for herbs. As you can see, you're always guaranteed herbs if you harvest Herbiboar, which if you have 80 Hunter, you probably have 31 Herblore, so there's no reason really not to harvest Herbiboar. You also have a 1 in 6,500 chance at pet, which is always entertaining, and if you're going to hunt, you might as well, try at least to get the pet at least. So again, instead of the Guild Hunter outfit, I just recommend Graceful. It's going to make your life a lot easier with run energy and all that fun stuff. Again, the Ring of Pursuit does not work at Herbiboar. Again, Ring of Pursuit, no go at Herbiboar, so don't bring it. I do recommend, however, the Ring of Endurance. Assuming you have over 500 charges, that's going to help you extend your run energy and use less stamina pots. And on top of that, when you use a stamina pot, it's going to last for 4 minutes instead of 2 minutes. So when you're like me and you're running around kind of not really paying attention and you look over and your run energy's gone, it'll help you out with that as well. You can bring teleports to the bank, but honestly, you're on Fossil Island. There's like 2 or 3 banks there anyway, so you don't really need them. Again, I would recommend stamina potions. If you're there for an hour, I recommend about like 8 stamina potions. Normally gets me through my herb sack, which is also recommended to bring a herb sack, because if you're harvesting Herbiboar, it'll just make all your herbs go into the herb sack, and then you don't have to worry about inventory management. Also recommended if you are harvesting Herbiboar again, that you bring magic secateurs. Again, this is only if you're harvesting, but you should harvest if you're going to hunt Herbiboar in the first place. You're also going to be getting fossils as well as you go around and track Herbiboar. That's kind of the nice kind of passive way, which I just found out you can get for XP from, so it's kind of cool. Video about that will be coming out at some point on the channel. So there is a fossil deposit near one of the starting points for Herbiboar, so highly recommend to deposit your fossils whenever it's convenient, because they are extra weight and they will just deplete your run energy, and there's no point to have them in your inventory. As far as location goes, again, they are on Fossil Island, and as you see here, there's a few different starting spots for Herbiboar. There's one up here by the mush tree. There is one by the farming patches. There is one right as you go to the west when you get off the rowboat, and there's one just a little bit south of that. Those are the 4 starting points. You have to start at one of those 4 points, and then from there, the game will show you where you actually need to go. On Moonlight, there's a plugin for Herbiboar, but I even tried this on mobile and was doing this last night for about an hour and a half, and it's very easy to tell where the tracks are. So really for this method, you don't even need Moonlight. Normally Moonlight is a giant advantage. In this case, not so much, which always makes it nice for those mobile users out there. So the ways you're going to get there is a dig site pendant, or one of the easiest ways to get there, I should say, is a dig site pendant. You're going to take that dig site pendant and either go to the dig site itself, and then you can run over to this ship right here, which will take you to Fossil Island. If you've done the quest, all you need to do is right click and quick travel, and it'll take you right here, and then you can just start by running to the west. Another option is using that dig site pendant to the house on the hill if you have it unlocked, and then use the mush tree that's there, and then it will put you right here, which is right next to another starting point. Now, if you don't have either of those two things with the dig site pendant, what you can do is just teleport to Graahk and run to the east, or you can teleport to Al-Kharid and run north. But again, your entire objective is just to get to Fossil Island however you see fit. Now, me personally, I have everything I need. I have my herb sack, I have my stamina potions, I have my magic secateurs, and I'm going to go ahead and use the dig site pendant in my house, and I'm going to teleport to Fossil Island, which will take you to the house on the hill. Now again, once you're here, you're just going to use the magic mush tree, and you are going to go to the mushroom meadow. Once you're at the mushroom meadow, the starting point again is right here, just a little bit over to the east, and you're going to go ahead and click, and this is just like any other tracking activity. Again, when you are on mobile, you will actually see these white squares, so this isn't just something that is for Moonlight. And you're basically just going to follow this all around Fossil Island and hope that you don't lose or go in circles. Sometimes it'll say, hey, you're going in circles, and you'll have to start again and start over. That doesn't happen very often, maybe like once an hour if you're super unlucky, but honestly, it didn't really happen very much. I am going to have a loop from video of 1,000 Herbiboar catches on my channel here in the next, not the next video, but the video after, so make sure you look out for that. Again, while you are running, there will be these little tunnels here. And once you get to the tunnel, it'll be green most likely. I'm pretty sure, not 100% on mobile. All you're going to do is attack, and then you'll see Herbiboar pops out, and then you're just going to run over and harvest. You'll see you get the XP drop when you kick the tunnel and Herbiboar exits the tunnel, and then you can go over and harvest and get your herbs. Now, for the herbs, I was able to get that time 2 Guam leaves, so that was absolutely garbage, but that's fine. You can go ahead, start back up, and do everything over again. That is basically all there is to Herbiboar. Again, you do also get some Nummulite as well as all the different kinds of fossils, and I'm going to show you guys where to put your fossils when you get them here in a second. I'm just going to show you another run. Hopefully this one says that we're going in circles, and again, you can do this up to like 7 times, and it's really annoying, but all you're going to do is just follow the tracks. As far as the fossils go, when you get a bunch of fossils, or even 1 to 2, because again, they do tend to weigh down your run energy and everything like that, there is this open fossil storage near the mushroom. So highly recommend whenever you get fossils to just run over there and deposit them. Otherwise, you're just going to be using a lot of run energy. So as you go through here, this one should be here, yep, and then we're just going to run over, and again, you just need to use the attack option, and when you use the attack option on the tunnel, that will get you your Hunter XP, as there's the drop right there, and then we're going to go ahead and harvest, and that is literally all there is to Herbiboar. Did I get anything good for that? Well, at least we got a Qualm that time, so, you know, we got that going for us, but that is all there is to Herbiboar. Today's video is going to be a quick guide on how to hunt Moonlight Antelopes in Old School RuneScape. As far as the requirements go, you have to complete the Children of the Sun quest in order to get access to Varlamore, and you also need 91 hunters, so quite a beefy requirement on that one. They are caught using pitfall traps and give you 450 XP per catch, and their loot table is basically the same as the Sunlight Antelopes. You get big bones, Moonlight Antelope antlers, which are able to fletch them into bolts, and Moonlight Antelope fur, which currently does not have any use as far as I'm aware. Raw Moonlight Antelopes, which is the meat, so definitely make sure that you're bringing your meat pouch, and a 1 in 15 chance of getting the Antelope Hoof Shard Moonlight, which will be your Hunter Rumor part. As far as the equipment goes, feel free to wear your Guild Hunter outfit if you have it to increase your chance of receiving rare parts. As far as the wiki said, you are unable to fail trapping these creatures, so keep that in mind. That's always nice because it's a pain when they jump over and then, you know, got to run around with your head cut off to the next one. It's kind of annoying. A teasing stick teleports to a bank, but it's not really needed because there's a bank right upstairs, and these, you know, are just found in the hunting guild anyway. A knife is also needed, and a meat pouch if you want to collect all of the meats, which I do highly recommend because the meat is very, very good if you have the cooking level for it, and it also sells for a decent amount in the GE as well, so a great way to make some money. As far as the location goes, most of you guys should know where this location is if you are looking up this guide, but it is in the basement of the Hunter Guild, so the ways to get here is to teleport to Citus Illifortis and take the Quetzal over to the Hunter Guild. You can use your Quetzal Whistle, which is the quickest way, and I highly recommend doing that. You can also take a charter ship and then run northeast. You can also take the ferry ring AJP and run to the west. So those are basically kind of the ways to get here, but again, once you are here, you just need to go to where the tree's at and then go downstairs, and you'll take this little bridge and run south. It's really that simple to get here, so again, highly recommend the Quetzal Whistle if you haven't. As far as catching these, it is pretty simple. I do want to call out that the roots here act as logs, and again, you don't need an axe, you just need your knife. You can get up to 3 at a time before it yells at you and tells you that if you take more, the cavern's going to fall down, and you definitely don't want that to happen. So all you need to do is go ahead and set up your trap. You can set all 3 up if you would like, and then go ahead and tease a Moonlight Antelope, and then just go over and hop the trap. Again, according to the wiki, this is a 100% chance to catch these. I personally have not had a issue with catching them in general, so I am to believe that is true. But if for some reason they're not 100%, if they do for some reason jump over, you're going to have to go to another pit. But again, that's really all there is to it. You're just going to go ahead, lay your trap down, get the attention of the antelopes. They might smack you in the face because they don't like you, and you are going to have to bring them out a little bit because of the pathing is kind of annoying, but you just go over, hop over, they'll hop over, and you profit. That is all there is to catching Moonlight Antelopes. Overall, pretty easy. Another thing you can do is bring a bone crusher. I see that some people do that, and that bone crusher, when you pick up the big bones, will actually bury them for you, and you'll get a little bit of that XP. But normally people want to save that for things like the catacombs, so you can actually get a boost from that. This is just, you know, saving you from being productive and burying the bones, and instead just, you know, helping you be a little lazy and a little more AFK if that's something that you enjoy. But again, that is literally all there is to catching Moonlight Antelopes. If you guys made it all the way through this video, mad respect, because there was a lot of guides. I'm not sure anybody would actually go through and watch the entire thing. So if you did, thank you guys for watching. Again, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, if you are new, leave a like for the algorithm. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comment section down below. Channel memberships are now live. You get early access to every single video that I make. And for example, I am currently 3 weeks ahead on videos, or at least I was at the time of recording this video. So if you're interested in early access to different guides and want to see what I have up, you will see, at least at the time of the recording, 12 extra videos on my channel. On top of early access to videos, you will also get chat badges and chat emotes when I live stream. I don't think YouTube makes those cross live streams, which is tragic, but it's just another way to support the channel. So I do thank you. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a good one. Peace.